like a linebacker, play him back, the flex position to the best, is coaching, voting, malpractice. Right? It's just ridiculous. Here's your first team, Kenyon Green, DeMarvin Leal. Definitely deserve those accolades. Second team, Isaiah Spiller, Jalen Watermeyer, Nick Constantino. No argument with all those guys. They deserve it, and I'm proud of them. But certainly one guy is absent, and it bugs me. I saw it on social media yesterday. I'm like, this can't be right. And, of course, Antonio had the he's a God that has a plan for him, and I believe that. But this is what you got to know about Antonio. Big hit, come to play every game Johnson. 53 solo tackles, leads A&M. 53 solo tackles, yes. 79 total tackles, second on the team. He had several big plays throughout the season, the most versatile player on that defense, one of the best defenses in the country. Pro Football Focus had him as the fourth highest graded cornerback in the entire nation. Yet that guy, like we've seen in years past, doesn't get voted all SEC by the coaches. With that, we begin the Go Hour with a guy that I know warned me that this was going to happen, not in so many words about Antonio Johnson, but when I first got here, you told me, yeah, even DeMarvin Leal last year didn't get the love that he deserved.
Eric McCoy.
Yep.
Yeah, you can. It's what it is. Now, first of all, I don't believe the coaches voted.
No, it's some SID who doesn't watch the
SID
games.
or a football ops guy, and these are, again, for the most part, guys that the old guard that still has a hard time remembering that the SEC extends beyond the Mississippi.
Yep.
And surely has a problem remembering it extends beyond the Sabine. So unless you are just so dominant statistically that, you're just not going to get that, that acknowledgement. And quite frankly, I think Antonio Johnson was dominant statistically. I think this is just another example of people out, maybe in the West, but definitely in the East, just having no clue about what's going on at A&M.
Yep.
When DeMarvin, of all people, as good as he was last year, didn't make all conference, it was ridiculous. And this is just as incredulous.
Yeah, it bugs me, but it is what I can't tell you that I watched all the DBs in the country or in the SEC with the same kind of eyes that I watched Antonio Johnson. So I don't know where some of those guys rack up. I can look at their stats. I can compare it to, sure. I know that the outcry by people in other media markets, there's I think you tweeted him or tweeted at you, the guy from Missouri.
David Matter.
Yeah, that by his peers, by other media, it just baffles me. Of all the people, he is the one that I believe not only deserved, they all deserved it, but he's one that really played himself up to that level.
Oh, I believe so. I thought Leon O'Neal had an all-conference type of year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought when you look at the sack totals of Michael Clemens and Tyree Johnson,
yep.
I think that suggests they had an all-conference type of year. But Antonio Johnson was just like you said, he was had an elite year.
Yeah.
And to snub him just shows that you don't know what's going on. You just don't know. And that's why, as much as anything, I believe it's, as typically the case, a football ops guy. Coaches, they don't know unless you played A&M. You don't know anything about Antonio Johnson because you spend all your time game planning, for the teams you have to play.
I guarantee you, Lane Kiffin knows who Antonio Johnson is.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly probably will know. He didn't know. Coach Ed knew. Ed O.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. They all know.
If they had a draft to draft players from the SEC on your team, Antonio Johnson would go pretty quick. But he'd go before a lot of the guys that were chosen before him.
Now, I don't believe it is this media conspiracy against Texas A&M.
That's just ignorance.
It is exactly that. And a lack of awareness and a lack of wanting to know this product.
I told you.
Yeah, you did.
Last year about the media guy from Florida who had no idea who DeMarvin Leal was. I said, dude, he's the best player on the team, maybe. Now, we'll see if the media is paying any more attention because the media team will probably come out today or tomorrow. And let's see if the guys who actually cover games know more than the football ops guys know.
Yeah, it's and I'm so happy his teammates and people went to social and had his back, and he was fine, and I'm sure it's not a big deal. But it's just one of those, like, how does this look? Nick Constantino should be out there. I agree, right? Isaiah Spiller should be. Sometimes people make these lists because of reputation, and sometimes you have to earn your way on. It's like almost like a pledgeship, right? You have to kind of go through Hell Week before you're allowed to. And maybe this first year where we got to see Antonio shine the way he did was maybe next year is when he will get the accolades that he deserves.
Well, it probably will be, just like you'll hear all in the off season. Starting in April, late April, you'll see all the mock drafts projecting the 2023 draft. And you're going to see Antonio Johnson's name showing up real early, because that's the kind of player he is. Just like DeMarvin Leal's name showed up real early. And then you start saying, well, if all these guys are seeing this in the NFL, what the hell are these other guys in the SEC seeing? And the answer is they're just not seeing it. And that's why DeMarvin Leal, who was snubbed, was projected on everybody's mock draft to be a first-round draft choice as high as number 3, and then he comes out and he has a monster year. And don't be surprised if you see Antonio Johnson being a first or second-round projection, probably first. And then you have all these numbskulls and Nimrods, and most of them are probably in the East, that go, oh, this guy must be good. And then they start paying attention.
So at some point this offseason, I don't know when, maybe before the bowl game, I want to do a thing called the Obies, all right? And sponsored by Flowbee. You ever use a Flowbee?
I'm not sure what a Flowbee is.
Like this little haircut product that like kind of goes over your head and it kind of cuts it like a vacuum. You haven't seen it?
No.
All right, so we'll see if we can get them. We'll get Logan on this. But the Obies, where I want you to give awards out, okay?
Okay.
And we're not going to do it today.
Like
but
the Dundies, kind of?
Like Crocodile Dundee?
No, like The Office, like their awards.
Is that what they call it, the Dundies?
Yeah.
Yes, same thing.
Okay.
The Obies, right? Olin's going to give his team MVP, his best defensive player, his best whatever, right? We'll come up with a criteria. I want to do this yearly, and maybe we'll do it for all the sports. But for sure the Obies this football season, and I've already been thinking about when should we do it, right before the bowl game, right after. But regardless, I bring that up because I want to ask you, could you, and I think you can, make an argument that Antonio Johnson was the most dependable player on that defense? Not saying he was the best player. Maybe he was the best player. But I feel like you could put him in any situation and he shined.
Yeah, I think you would have to consider him or DeMarvin.
Yep.
Now, DeMarvin was often double-teamed, and things like that. But they're in the same class. So could I make an argument? Sure, you could make an argument, make a good argument. Now, if someone did the counterpoint, DeMarvin, then you might have a really interesting debate.
Sure.
But I thought Antonio was very reliable. He was consistently good.
Anytime there was a big play, not only just big hits, a lot of times we'd be like, is that Antonio Johnson again? We would say that often.
Yeah, I mean, he had it. Now, these people that vote, they'll probably look at interception totals first.
Yeah.
And I think he only had one. But again, that doesn't.
He also plays a different role for the defense.
Like I said, there's a guy at South Carolina that had like 6 interceptions, 7 interceptions. He even had one against A&M. I guarantee you ask any coach except the South Carolina coach who has to, but any coach in the SEC, hey, would you want this guy? What was that kid? Van? No, that was the receiver. I can't think of his name right now. He had a bunch of interceptions. Would you rather have him or Antonio Johnson? Every one of them except Shane Beamer, and Beamer, we understand that, is going to take Antonio Johnson. Interceptions be damned.
Yep, absolutely. Let's go around the room and say hello. By the way, you can be a part of the conversation. Text the A&B text line. I didn't put a topic out there. I just thought we'd talk Antonio and get your thoughts on it. We got some other headlines to get into as well. But the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas Banking, the website, amb.com. And, of course, you can call us on the BCSI hotline. Dalton Hughes, why are you here? It's a Wednesday.
I haven't had I was telling Billy this. It's like me having Wednesdays off is a myth. It's a theory. It's not applicable in reality.
See, we're going to have to argue about this because – go ahead, OB. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Dalton, you have my permission to take not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that off.
Yeah, I agree. Dalton,
What's up, guys?
you do take the Wednesday show off. I know that there's business hours that you're still answering emails and coming in and doing everybody's work, but from a show perspective, sometimes you're not here on Wednesday.
Yeah, sometimes.
And then you show up like at 9:30. I'm like, why are you
You know,
here?
Dalton, take next Wednesday off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Deal. You didn't have to threaten me twice with that one.
Olin doesn't have any authority, so we're going to need you to come in extra early now. Thank you. Both of you. You
What?
too.
Extra early as in to get here because we're live from 7 to 11.
That is correct. I'm going to need you here by 6:50.
If I'm not here by 6:50, we've got problems.
Yes, we do. And, I'm glad you brought that up, Dalton. We have our signing day show next Wednesday, 7 to 11.
You finalized it?
Have I finalized like our guest list?
Yeah.
I know 3 of our guests. I don't know if we're going to have a 4th yet, but I do know that we have Steve McKinney coming by. We have Chris Taylor coming by. We have Brandon Leone coming by. So each hour we'll have a different former player hanging out with us. Still working on the early one, the 7 a.m. hour. So
Yeah, nobody's really jumping up to sign up for that first hour commercial free.
people love that 10 o'clock hour or that 9 o'clock hour. 8, like, okay, I guess. 7 o'clock, not yet.
Maybe 7, we'll make McGee come in and we'll just do our quarterback breakdown and get it out of the way in that commercial free hour. Maybe that's what we do.
That's a smart
Let's
play.
get McGee.
In the middle of the day.
I think you go like at 4 a.m., right? Is that what time you hunt?
I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're hunting, I guess.
Speaking of hunting, this has nothing to do with it, but it brought up this memory. 2 days ago, I'm at Veterans Park. You guys know Veterans Park?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going for a run. There's a section that the lights are off because there aren't teams practicing over there, and I'm running. And I see 3 wild dogs kind of like running in front of me. I'm like, that's interesting where the owner is. Where's the owner? I don't see the owner. And I start getting closer, and they're coyotes.
Yeah.
There was a moment of, this is where it ends. The David Nuno story is going to end right here at Veterans Park. My kids are going to find me eaten alive. As I started running closer, they ran away from me, jumped into the woods. I had a decision. Do I turn around where they can still get me, or I go run right through? I ran through, and I ran at a velocity that I haven't run in 20 years, super fast. But I think they were more scared than I was.
Oh, yeah.
But it was scary.
Well, you're bigger than 3 coyotes.
They bite. If 3 pit bulls attacked you, you're not making it, OB.
No, I know. But coyotes, they tend to attack things smaller than that.
Yes. So I'm glad I wasn't with my children. It was a little scary. I'm glad that I gave this personal announcement here. Let's go to the News and Social Center. Anna Rosa Peterson, good morning.
Hello. I don't know about y'all, but I suffer severely from FOMO, if you know what that is. Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out.
And so not being here Monday, I was telling OB, I'm like, it just felt weird. I hated it, but I'm back. Happy to be here. Happy to read your text messages. But yeah, I had food poisoning over the weekend, so that was not super fun.
Yeah, I got a text from you. I didn't see it when you sent, and then I sent you a response like at 5 a.m., so I apologize.
Well,
about that.
I kind of figured you would be understanding, so I went ahead and went to bed that night. But yeah, it's funny, though, that OB said what he did about the Sabine to our initial topic, because Sutton in College Station says, OB has always said that for some people in the South, the SEC ends at the Sabine. It might be helpful when the Sips and Sooners come into the SEC that there will be 3 teams across the Sabine. And he sent this in before the show even started, so kind of read your mind there.
What do you think? You think they're going to get some love now that there's a little bit more power on our side of the map?
Probably not. Now, if you go out and win a ton of games, then people pay more attention to you. So, had A&M beaten LSU and Ole Miss, maybe they'd have a couple more guys on that All SEC team, because then if you're, and again, I'm assuming it's more East voters that ignore A&M. I don't know that for a fact, but if that happens, I think you have to look at, take a closer look at it.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
Got a text message from a 510 area code that says, coyotes are afraid of humans unless you feed them. Yeah, because that would be dinner. That's what I was scared
You're going
of.
to feed them yourself.
Yeah, I'm not. Here you go. I'm here. I'm running right by you.
Were you running at like 5 o'clock? Like dinner time?
It was 8 o'clock at night.
There's
my
been coyote
gosh.
sightings in my neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And my wife gets all worried about our dog. I'm like, coyotes aren't going to bother our dog. I've told her that. Now, if we had a little, yappy dog, but our dog's 100 pounds. So he's bigger than a coyote.
Yeah, but what if there's a pack of coyotes? Don't they drag you into the woods and take you down?
I didn't think, I saw, obviously you had a different experience. I never thought coyotes ran in packs.
Well, this was
I thought
three.
they were more like lone.
Yeah, this was a pack of three. And I don't know if they had they're waiting for me with a gang, waiting for me, like, let's lure this guy in here.
There's the
little candy waiting for me. Hey, all right, let's talk about the
Coyote Crips.
The Association of Former Students. I bet you there's probably no Coyote that's become a Century Club member. That's my guess. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But if a Coyote did end up going to Texas A&M, right? A, it'd have to get along with Reveille, and B, it'd have to eventually become a Century Club member. Maybe the worst segue I've ever had, maybe. And I've had a lot of bad ones.
There's probably been somebody that was a Coyote as a mascot.
This is true.
Like, I don't know what
Phoenix Coyotes.
I don't know what Texas high school team might be called the Coyotes, other than, what was that? The West Canaan Coyotes.
West Canaan Coyotes
from Varsity Blues.
Oh,
but if there may be another Coyote out there, so there could have been. But
but
as far as the animal, you're correct.
So again, this is this segue that Olin made longer. Terrible segue.
Sorry,
at the same time, good times. Good times had by all. I just got another text about Coyotes will lure your dog, though. Okay, so this is all about Coyotes today. Welcome to Coyotes Radio, but the Association of Former Students. Love those guys. Even the Coyotes do as well. Become a Century Club member, $100 a year, $9 a month. You'll get the decal, the plaque, the Texas Aggie magazine. Plus, you're continuing in the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping other Aggies. To learn more about the association or get involved, make a gift, visit aggienetwork.com/giving or go to Coyotes on Wikipedia.
Merry Christmas.
Season's greetings to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to all the military and all the troops everywhere across the world.
From TexAgs Radio. You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV, or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC, and you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on the Zone.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field, and now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes, and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at energyogre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
This Christmas, hope marches on. The Salvation Army, in partnership with Bryan Broadcasting, presents Angel Tree. There are still angels to adopt on the angel trees in the Post Oak Mall food court, all Blue Baker restaurants, or online at salvationarmybcs.org. But hurry, time's running out. Select your angel, shop for their gifts, and return them with the angel tag attached by Monday, December 13th. Through your support, hope marches on. For more information or to volunteer, visit salvationarmybcs.org.
I can do this.
We believe in you.
Each day brings hope.
Every day, millions of people celebrate their recovery from addiction and mental illness while others begin their journey. Be a part of it. Share your strength, support, and hope. Join the Voices for Recovery. Together, we are stronger. For 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
Tom Brady's just ridiculous. Yeah, look, he's really good. By so far the greatest older player of all time in football, too, because no quarterback had ever been great past the age of 41. He's 44. But at this question, guys, I had various players as my MVP different parts of the season. Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers.
I know, but still.
Different guys. But guys, I gotta say, this guy missed a game. This guy missed 2 games. This guy was real bad one game. And Tom Brady right now is my MVP. He's been there every week, and the worst he's been is pretty good. I think he's the MVP right now.
You can't go wrong with him. But if it comes down to it in the end, I think it's going to come down to Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady to get the MVP.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
Hi, I think we're starting the segment now. Awkwardly. Welcome into the show. This is David Nuno. And we're going to talk a lot about Coyotes this segment. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It's the Go Hour OB. What was that noise? Is that you?
Coyotes howling.
What is going on?
I wish that was our opening song. Just slowly bring us in.
Have you never heard a coyote howling in this?
Not in a radio studio. No,
Okay.
I have not. It caught me off guard. I was like, they followed me here. Hey, so we're talking. They did. Pack of wolves or coyotes, whatever they're called. And by the way, a lot of good text messages about that. But we're going to try to move on from that topic. I'm sure we'll come up again. We did talk Antonio Johnson. We'll get into that a little bit more. Also, the strength and conditioning situation here with the Aggies. We'll get into that here momentarily. But Anna Rosa Peterson at the News and Social Center has got our word of the day.
I do. In fact, it is called bruh.
Bruh.
Are you familiar with this
I hear
word?
it all the time.
Who doesn't use the word bruh? And it annoys me when people use it, except when I use it.
So this is another fail. Dang it. Well,
but it's okay. There's people, I'm sure
some people don't know this word. So
there's a grandmother who listens to us, or
Exactly.
a grandfather, or even most 40-year-olds who don't use that term.
Right.
Who's like, oh, tell me more about this bruh thing.
In the best definition I could find is bruh is the best answer to literally anything. You really can say it to anything, whether you are in a restaurant and a waiter drops your food right in front of you.
Bruh.
That would be a bruh moment.
But it would be like you're upset, bruh. Like, bruh, what are you doing? Right?
You could say that. Like you could replace it with the word dang or maybe other
or like
more colorful
bruh,
words.
where you been? Like I haven't seen Dalton on on a Wednesday in weeks. Bruh, what are you doing here?
Exactly. Or when someone says something stupid. So I could say that to you guys a lot.
See, I would just say that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
English.
Yeah. Well, that's a more educated response. But if.
Or probably not as nice, but,
Yeah.
I'm kind of unfiltered sometimes.
Yeah.
So, OB,
That's true.
Can you use bruh in a sentence multiple ways? I would like 2 sentences from you.
Because I have an 18-year-old son, or nearly 18-year-old son, so I hear it all the time. What's the matter with you, bruh?
He says that to you?
So he says so many things to me, and I don't even know what it means. I just look at him like, talk English to me, you idiot.
What did he say to you? What's going on with you, bruh?
Yeah, it's like, what's the matter with you, bruh? I'm like, shut up.
All right, use it in a different sentence. I want 2 sentences from you.
Okay. How's it going, bruh?
There you go. So you've
There
got
you
it down.
go.
Can
There we
you
go.
can you implement that into your daily vocabulary moving forward?
Bruh?
Yeah.
I could, but probably won't.
But not like with us, like with other people in your age group.
Oh, sometimes I say things. No, not to my age group. Sometimes I wait until Quinn has his friends around, like last night, and then I'll say, "What's going on, bruh?" or something like that. And then
do they love it?
They laugh, and my son just gets
very embarrassed,
angry, more than embarrassed. He says, why are you so stupid?
That's your cue to keep doing it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's my role in life now, is to embarrass him.
Have you ever used the term brosif?
Brosif, I have not. I've heard other.
I don't think I know that word.
You don't know brosif?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Did you care to share?
Do you hear that? That's the sound of people changing the radio station left and right on this segment.
It's like, bruh, talk about some coyotes or something.
Hey, all right, when we come back here on TexAgs Radio, I want to talk about Jerry Schmidt going back to Oklahoma. I have not had the pleasure of meeting him. Everybody around the program speaks so highly about him. And, Lucci had some tweets about it yesterday. We'll talk about it. But the poaching has begun there, and there'll be some changes. And there's some guys out there that potentially could end up here. Maybe they'll promote from within, so we'll talk about that. Right now, Milliken Reserve Farm-to-Table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got wide open spaces. Their mission is to build a healthy community around nature, and they've done such a good job of doing that. I remember the first time I went out there and just kind of drove by. I was like, this is awesome. Like huge, like acre homes, acres, plural. And just a beautiful place. The civilization, the farming, you name it. If you love nature, it's a great place to not only visit, but potentially move, right? If you're in the big city listening to this, you're like, I want to get back to College Station, because I hear that a lot. When we moved back here, that was the big thing. Like, hey, how is it out there? It's amazing. And if you want to live in nature, but also be close to the city that is College Station, you can go out there to Milliken Reserve. They've got the hiking, the biking, the canoeing, the kayaking, the equestrian trails, the evening yoga, the summer camps, the music festivals, the farmer markets, and the farm tours. Go check them out at millikenreserve.com.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Books from Birth is hosting a book drive for used children's books to be distributed to low-income families in the Brazos Valley. Drop off your books at Morningstar Storage through December 22nd. Consider becoming a CASA volunteer to look out for a child and give them and their family a better chance at a brighter future and the happy holiday season they deserve. The next volunteer training session is scheduled for January. Learn more at vfcbrazos.org. Come check out Merry and Bright Maroon and White at the Gardens at Texas A&M this month. The holiday light display is free and open to the public. Help the Brazos Valley Food Bank bring hope to the table. Go online to bvfb.org. You can hear the college football semifinals, Alabama versus Cincinnati, and Georgia takes on Michigan. New Year's Eve starting at 2:30 here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, thanks to T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
The association, because they support so many different things and they are involved, as a student, you feel like you have somebody in your corner.
We know that Alfredo's family has never seen him march live at Kyle Field. With the help of the Association of Former Students, we're going to end that today. Alfredo's family is here with us.
To the Association of Former Students, I don't know how much I can thank you enough for giving me hope that for anything that goes wrong, something good is going to happen out of it. Whatever they do for the school, it's always going to come out with a smile on someone else's face.
To learn more about the association's impact or to make a gift, visit tx.ag/giving.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
Replacement windows, like other major purchase items, will at some time in the future need service, whether warranty or not. If you purchase your replacement windows from Intercon, you'll just phone our local number and we'll take care of your issue in a prompt and professional way. Every one of Intercon's personnel who answer the phone will know how to involve the right people to find a solution. With Intercon, you won't spend hours manipulating through an automated phone tree. If you consider purchasing your replacement windows from another window source, a good exercise would be to call the service department of the other company. You might come away thinking
construction or an existing home. Let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call me at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
This is State Representative Kyle Cassell wishing you all the timeless treasures.
Kyle Cassell Campaign.
And we're back. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody texting in about their Coyote experiences on the AMB text line. And, of course, the BCSI hotline is open as well at 979. Austin, get major eye surgery such as glaucoma or cataract issues. You can let Dr. K take care of you right here in the BCS. They're located on the top level of the Physician Center, 979-701-2020, the website mybcsi.com. All right, OB, Schmidt's going back to Oklahoma, where he spent a big part of his career. He followed the coaching staffs from Florida to Oklahoma. Then, obviously, he came here to Texas A&M. He was there with Bob Stoops, I guess, way back when he got there. And what was it, 99, I guess it was, and he was there for quite a while. Joined Jimbo in 2018. Very highly regarded. People love his ways.
Well, he spent a couple decades, and it seems like a couple decades, but give or take, in Oklahoma, and I'm sure got very comfortable with his family there and everything. And maybe he smelled a rat in Lincoln Riley,
maybe,
and before everybody else did, and decided, I just don't want to be part of that, and had a great opportunity here, and did a great job here, and we should, and I think Aggies will just be appreciative of what he was able to do here. And the influence he had on some other coaches that might take his position, and the players. So I think there's a lot of understanding. I think we all understand that sometimes you have an opportunity to go back home. I had a great time in Nashville, but I really wanted to come back home, and I did when I had the opportunity.
Hello, me too.
There you go.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
it's easy to understand. So just applaud what he did, say thank you, and then trust Jimbo to make another outstanding hire for that position.
I'm a big believer that we don't know what people desire. Like everybody thinks it's the market for TV or the money, but sometimes it boils down to, hey, we have a lot of roots in this community, and I love this city, and that's where I want to be, and it has no disrespect towards where you last worked. Sometimes it's just, I'd rather spend the last 10 years of my career here or whatever it may be.
I don't know what his situation is. Does he have any grandkids up there? Does he have any, what family up there? I don't know. And it's none of my business. It's what makes an individual happiest.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the draw is. Maybe he just has maybe he always had a great relationship with Brent Venables. I don't know. But he did a great job for Texas A&M. And so for that, I'll applaud him, thank him, wish him the best moving forward, except when his team plays A&M.
Yeah.
Standing hire when he hired Schmidt.
Yep.
He will have an opening, and he will make an outstanding hire to replace him.
There may be somebody on the staff right now that is ready to go, and this is their opportunity, and sometimes new blood is a good thing. Also, as you mentioned, Jimbo has hired top-notch people across the board. I mean, we talk about Mike Elko being, if not the best defensive coordinator, one of the best. He knows how to pick these guys that fit the culture and fit what they're trying to get done here.
Yeah, there was a couple of years ago, there was this on our boards and everywhere else, there was this questioning Jimbo for his offensive line hire. Well, then, then Josh Henson put out one of the 2 or 3 best offensive lines in the entire country. And this year had to deal with a lot of injuries, a lot of inexperience, and still put out a solid offensive line and has done a great job recruiting.
Yes, yeah. Yep, 100% agree. Some text messages coming in on the word of the day that's just making me laugh. Peruna and College Station. I'll let you read it, Anna Rose.
Bruh, that coyote just spit David. Hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, another one. Wait, bruh, I'll take over this segment. Got a freshman and a senior at A&M. They are plugged in. That is from John. It's a moment yesterday, but Mike Evans getting nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award for his great work. And just we all know here in the Aggie community of what a great guy and warrior and future Hall of Famer he is. It's nice that he is getting some of the exactly, but basically the best teammate.
Perfect teammate.
Yeah. Think about that. Some of the teammates Tom Brady's had, Hall of Famers, right-hand guys, Gronk, his best dude, like they're tight. He's calling Mike Evans legit like the best teammate.
Mike Evans is one of those guys that if he was basketball, make a basketball, he's Tim Duncan. He's got all this incredible ability, and he's not always yelling about, hey, get me the ball more, I want the ball more, all the things that you see a lot of players do. He's low maintenance. He just goes out there and wants to win, and he'll block you in the next week, and he'll catch touchdown passes. That's what he does, and he'll quietly accumulate 1,000-yard seasons, but he doesn't draw a lot of attention to himself because he's one of those guys who are very team and win oriented. Winning is what matters to him.
I remember at some point last year when he and Tom weren't completely on the same page, and I think his numbers compared to years past were starting to go down a little bit. They were able to find that chemistry. There was never complaining. It was never, because I think, if I remember correctly, the Bucs had a little blip in the radar last year before they got hot again and were able to turn it on. He's just the model of consistency at that position. And you're going to get 1,000 yards, you're going to get touchdowns, you're going to get big plays to win games, and you're going to get a guy who leads at practice and leads on the field.
And, wasn't it Mike that, correct me if I'm wrong on this, if my memory's a little bit off, but he signed this huge contract, and then after winning the Super Bowl last year, was offered to give money back so they could keep that team intact?
That sounds familiar to me.
Because he wants to win.
Yeah.
And he does do so much charity work, and he has his foundation, and he gives a football away every time he scores a touchdown to some kid. He's just a nice guy, and he doesn't have to be, because if you he could be the most intimidating guy that he's 6'5" and he's tough.
He's kind of quiet spoken.
Yeah, you know.
Man,
the guy's freaking John Wayne as a receiver.
I got to go to one of his camps in the Woodlands area, I think it was, a few years back, and to see a lot of guys are good at camps about interacting with the campers, but then when the camp is done, they move on, right? Like it's a business. They're doing things. It's not like I remember Mike just hanging out with the kids for a long time, taking pictures, giving them his phone to do the selfies with him. It was just great. In fact, I think he took my phone and took a group picture too, if I remember correctly. But just a wonderful guy, and I hope he gets it for several reasons. But he's built a Hall of Fame caliber career, and let's just keep adding to it.
Yeah, great guy, great Aggie.
Yeah, great Aggie who we're going to see. He might get himself a second Super Bowl.
I wouldn't bet against him.
He's kind of got a good quarterback now too.
Yeah,
he's kind of got a pretty good quarterback to go. Hey, so I want to go back to Antonio Johnson for a moment because it's not just about Antonio Johnson. To me, he goes a little bit deeper than that. And, we talk often about the respect that A&M doesn't get, right? But how do you feel overall with getting 5 on the first and second team overall players on a team that did go 8-4, showing, 5's a good number, I would assume, for first and second team for a team that didn't finish where they expected to finish.
I'm sorry, I got a text message from Lucci.
About Coyotes?
No.
About Mike Evans?
About the Lombardi Awards tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry, would you repeat that? I apologize.
Oh, no problem. Just I started off with Antonio Johnson, but the fact that A&M, an 8-4 team, does have 5 players on the first and second team, I think Antonio should be there. There's no doubt about that. But a team that fell short of preseason expectations and really mid-season expectations still was able to put 2 studs on the first team, 3 studs on the second team.
Yeah, I think that's good representation. I think, again, I wouldn't have been surprised at all. Did they even have an all-purpose guy? I don't think they did.
I don't remember seeing that.
Because if they, then you got to put A-Chain or Anias, probably A-Chain. But maybe that comes out on the media team. But, yeah, I think and there are other guys.
That's fair.
6, I wouldn't have complained if it had been Antonio. I thought, like I said, I thought Leon had a all-conference caliber year. I thought the other defensive ends had really strong years. But, I thought Anias didn't have the big stat year. But if you watched him in big games, you would say, man, that guy's an all-conference guy.
Yeah.
So I think there could have been more representation. But I think you don't want to be that guy that says, hey, they went 8-4, but put 10 guys on the all-conference. But I'd still argue for Antonio. But, yeah, and here's the deal. If A&M scores, and we understand we had a backup quarterback this year, and he had some great moments, but if A&M scores one more touchdown a game, they're 10-2.
Yep.
One more touchdown.
A lot to ask for a team that struggled offensively, but that being said, we saw each game a touchdown that should have been scored. I'll go back to the Ole Miss game. The Demas drop, to me, it had such ripple effects because Demas was involved in 2 big plays in that game. By the way, I think Demas is going to be a wonderful player. This is not a shot at him. But the drop there and the interception later, those are 2 huge plays that had ramifications.
Yeah. Now, I put the drop on
Demas.
On Demas. I don't put the interception on him.
No, I don't put it on him, but I think it could have been handled better as well. It was a high throw, though. You're right.
I thought he made a great play just to have a chance to catch it.
Yeah. I'll give you that. The reason I brought that all up is because this is of the top 10 players going into bowl season in the SEC.
Okay.
Do you think A&M should have one of those players, or 2, or 3?
Oh, gosh.
Top 10 players heading into the bowl. The way it's phrased is power rankings, the top 10 players in the SEC before bowl season.
Well,
based on their season.
Week 3 times.
Yep.
So a quarter of the season, he was the best SEC lineman. So Kenyon Green has to be. Again, if you don't have DeMarvin Leal, you're sleeping on it. And quite frankly, Devon A-Chain.
Okay.
But those 3.
Those 3. So I'm looking at the top 10 list from Saturday down south, who I like. I think they do good work there. No Aggies in the top 10. Okay. And I'm going to read you the top 10 just for conversation's sake, and then we can continue on the next side of the break. Number 10, Matt Corral. I love Matt Corral. I think he's an excellent quarterback, and he's the reason that team did as well as
he might have won the Heisman if not for injuries.
Yep. Jamison Williams, number 9, Alabama.
He could have. I really thought about putting him on my Heisman ballot.
Roger McCreary, cornerback out of Auburn.
He's really good.
He is very good. Traylon Brooks, wide receiver, Arkansas. Fantastic.
He's really good.
Yep. Clark out of LSU, Damone, sorry.
The linebacker with a whole lot of tackles. Okay, he's really good.
All right. We have, let's see, Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, he's a Kentucky receiver that catches a lot of passes, has a lot of stats. I would rather have DeMarvin Leal.
Number 4, Jordan Davis, defensive tackle out of Georgia.
Jordan Davis is one of those guys that's just dominant, but did you see him sucking air? You have to include him because of the season he's had.
Nakobe Dean, Georgia, linebacker. He's number 3. Number 2, Bryce Young. He's a quarterback.
Bryce Young's number 2.
Yeah. And number 1, Will Anderson, the edge out of Alabama. So, I can't tell you who off this list I would take off and put the 2 names that you initially said, but I would find a place for DeMarvin Leal and Kenyon Green.
Was there any offensive linemen?
No,
on that
I don't see
list?
any offensive linemen.
So that happens a lot. And
there's a bunch of honorable mentions, by the way, and on there, DeMarvin's on there, Kenyon's on there, and so is Antonio Johnson.
Okay. DeMarvin, see, what you have to look at is his total tackles compared to his position. I'm pretty sure that he has 58 tackles, and that's an insane amount for a defensive lineman. And then you put it in with how many, was he have 8.5 sacks or 8 sacks or something like that? And then you put it in with his hurries. And again, if you're just going to look at stats, you're going to, you're missing the big part of the equation.
You are. Hey, let's talk Aggieland Outfitters right now. Go to AggielandOutfitters.com, AggielandOutfitters.com. If you're a husband out there thinking, man, what am I going to get my wife or my daughter or my kids? Just get them a bunch of Aggie gear. I mean, seriously, and then save money doing it because everybody knows Aggie gear is not cheap, right? Especially if you want the great material. That's where you go to Aggieland Outfitters. We're going to get that great material, but you're going to get 20% off because you listen to this show because they like my listeners. TexAgs 21 at checkout. Go do it. Make it happen, guys. You're running out of time. I think they're going to continue this through the holidays, but you don't want to get too late. And this is an Aggie gear hat, sweater, hoodie, whatever it may be, and type in TexAgs 21. Get 20% off your entire purchase online today by using that code TexAgs 21. It is Aggieland Outfitters.
Your home for Texas A&M women's basketball is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone. The Zone.
This Christmas, hope marches on. The Salvation Army, in partnership with Bryan Broadcasting, presents Angel Tree. There are still angels to adopt on the angel trees in the Post Oak Mall food court, all Blue Baker restaurants, or online at salvationarmybcs.org. But hurry, time's running out. Select your angel, shop for their gifts, and return them with the angel tag attached by Monday, December 13th. Through your support, hope marches on. For more information or to volunteer, visit salvationarmybcs.org.
Howdy, y'all. This is Olin Buchanan, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field. And now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at EnergyOgre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home and Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
My name is Bobby. I'm a veteran and lost my leg to a roadside bomb. My victory was going from a wheelchair to becoming a weightlifting champion.
I'm Sam. I'm a veteran. My victory was finding a career I can be proud of and supporting my family.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, We're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran, and my victory was finishing my education.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support for victories great and small.
My victory was proving that disability is not a...
My victory was getting my service dog a new best friend.
We help more than 1 million veterans every year as they face and conquer their challenges.
My victory is being able to be there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
From opening night to Super Bowl 56, don't miss a second of the NFL's biggest season ever. Hi, this is Kurt Warner of Westwood One. Join our crew each week for the best primetime NFL action. Thursday, Sunday, and of course, Monday Night Football. Listen to the NFL's brightest stars on Westwood One.
Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening to the program here. Final segment of the Go Hour. So Lombardi Awards tonight. Getting some text messages about it. In fact, Ross from East Texas sending it in. Also one on the A&B text line from Spencer in Denver. I'll let Anna Rosa take this one.
Yes, he says it was a tie, not an interception, a catch by Demas. No different than the latest call at LSU. It was another missed call.
There is the old thing that says the tie goes to the offensive player.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the defensive player didn't have possession first.
And then Demas kind of took it over.
I know this. It just shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the throw was high, and I don't know, I have to watch it again in slow-mo, but I feel like if it touches your hands, you should get it, is the thinking, but at the same time, it was so high with a taller cornerback who got a little higher than you and just wrestled it away.
Well, the interception was made after DeMond had stretched out completely to try to bring it in, and then it deflected off his hands and it was coming down. So the defensive back had leverage.
So I'm looking at the 4 finalists for the Lombardi Award.
Okay.
Kenyon Green, as we know. Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan, legit player. Mike Rose, Tyler Litterbaum from Iowa.
Iowa center. I would think that would come down between Kenyon Green and Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kenyon Green wins it.
I would expect Kenyon Green to win it.
Yep.
Hutchinson's had this great year, and there are those that feels like he should be in the Heisman Trophy discussion, and maybe he should. An offensive lineman gets overlooked, and yet he's still, he's still just, you notice him. I mean, he's not just a good player, he's a great player.
He is a phenomenal player, without a doubt, and I'm going out on a limb. He is going to win it. I'm pretty sure he's going to win. And I don't have any insider information. I'm just telling you, not only does he deserve it, but I think, it being in our backyard probably helps a little bit. I think he's going to win it. Get the bang back,
Look at some NIL working for you.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to do what the University of Texas does, but we just know we got you.
We got you, Kenyon.
Bruh.
Bruh, yeah.
Appreciate it, OB. All right, when we come back here on the program, we're going to talk to Chris Landry. Love me some Chris Landry, especially on Wednesdays. I'm going to get his thoughts on Antonio Johnson. Gary Blair in studio around 9:30. And we've got Recruiting Country starting at 10 a.m. This is a big week, the final push here, 7 days out. Ryan Broniger will be with us, and then later on in the program, Gabe Bach with his 4 downs. It's going to be a loaded couple of hours to go. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Holiday sparkle starts at Montelongo's Fine Jewelry. The Montelongo's Fine Jewelry family has been helping people select the perfect gift for over 30 years, and they want to be your jeweler this holiday season. Let Montelongo's help you find a dazzling gift from their incredible selection that's in stock and ready to be from Montelongo's Fine Jewelry that's sure to make your loved one's Christmas shine. Visit their showroom on University Drive, and Merry Christmas from the Montelongo family to yours.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Still hunting for the 10th dentist who would not recommend his show? Louis Bellina. Weekdays, 11 to 2 on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. This is KZNE College Station, Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. Bryan ISD school board members plan to take final action on next year's school calendar next Monday. During this week's school board meeting, BISD Student Services Director Shannon McGeehee, who is a former principal, says the calendar gives teachers protected work days.
Making sure that we had plenty of time for professional development at the beginning of the year. That was an overwhelming outcry from all campuses and all teachers.
There are also 6 days where students are dismissed early. McGeehee says when she was a principal at Davila Middle School, those days focused on remedial learning.
A lot of those come close to the end of the 6 weeks. And even though we'd love our students to be motivated every day, the end of the 6 weeks tends to motivate our students quite a bit due to eligibility and different things.
BISD's recommended calendar for next year has the support of more than 70% of students and employees and 62% of parents and community members. For the second time in less than a week, BTU has another scam warning. The warning goes to the Spanish-speaking community as well as the community at large. And these scammers are using an unpublished BTU phone number. BTU will never call and demand payment or threaten disconnection. The new College Station City Hall was not the only thing unveiled during yesterday's dedication.
The city of College Station, Texas has officially existed since 1938. However, until today, we have never possessed a traditional city seal.
City Manager Brian Woods pointed out the new seal, which is engraved above the City Hall's front doors. You can see pictures of the seal and City Hall online at WTAW.com. There's another contested Democratic primary in Brazos County. Running for county commissioner in Precinct 4 is Ann Roney, who joins Roy Flores in seeking to succeed Irma Cawley, who is not seeking re-election. Next Monday is the filing deadline for the March primary. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Howdy, this is Steve Bledsoe, fighting TexAgs class of 83, with some exciting news. Vera Bank is now open with our new full-service location on Highway 6 in College Station. With personal bankers, business bankers, Vera Bank has everything you need in one convenient location. Come see for yourself where genuine banking is waiting for you, and you can bank on it.
Visit verabank.com today. That's VERA bank.com. Vera Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Bryan Broadcasting congratulates the College Station High School Cougars as they continue their season in the state football playoffs. Don't miss any of the action. Hear all the Cougar football playoff games on Maverick 100.9 and streamed online at radioaggieland.com. Thank you to our sponsors, First Financial Bank, Rapid Express Car Wash, and Ed Phillips Plumbing. Tune in to College Station High School football on Maverick 100.9. Go Cougars!
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on the Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. 5 Texas A&M football players have been named to the All-SEC coaches team. Offensive lineman Kenyon Green and defensive lineman DeMarvin Leal were pegged to the first team, while running back Isaiah Spiller, tight end Jalen Wademeyer, and punter Nick Constantinu received second-team honors. Of course, the 25th-ranked guys are gearing up to take on number 17 Wake Forest in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Aggie headman Jimbo Fisher on his counterpart Dave Clausen.
I've known what Dave does for a long time, and we've kept up with it here because, like I say, he has two guys here, Coach Elko and Coach Santucci. When they were on TV, we try to keep up on how they do. We root for them. Like I've always considered Dave a friend, and I had great respect for what he did.
Fisher has squared off against Clausen and Wake Forest 4 times, winning all 4 of those meetings. Time for a look at SEC men's basketball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Tennessee was upset by Texas Tech last night, 57-52 in overtime. Kentucky got the better of Southern, 76-64. Arkansas bowled over Charlotte, 86-66, and Georgia downed Jacksonville, 69-58. Vanderbilt fell to Temple 72-68 in OT, and Mizzou blew out Eastern Illinois 72-44. And that's been your SEC Sneak Peek, brought to you by T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hoco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
On Sports Talk, Chip visited with Lana Wood, the sister of actress Natalie Wood, who died mysterious 40 years ago. Wood's husband, actor Robert Wagner, remains a person of interest on the case.
RJ was brought in for them to talk to, find out what happened. He was interrogated, if you want to use that word, for exactly 6 minutes, and then he was logged out.
Sports Talk, the truth is out there. Weekdays 4 to 6 on The Zone.
And we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening in this morning, watching on YouTube or on the CW or on TexAgs.com, and, of course, listening to us on The Zone. Right now, let's go to the BCSI hotline, joined by our buddy Chris Landry of LandryFootball.com. He breaks it all down with our Texas A&M scouting report. You got to check out LandryFootball.com for some great insight and scouting information. Chris, what's going on, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. What's the latest on the website? What are you guys working on?
Well, we got obviously all the breakdowns of breaking down all the bowl games piece by piece, but we're doing a little bit of a feature on the 4 playoff teams, in-depth roster breakdown analysis, of course, updating everybody on all the coaching search information around the country in our coaching search tracker. So what's behind the scenes, a lot of assistant coaching maneuverings with most of the head coaching situations being taken care of. And of course, the NFL has got a few weeks left there. So all the breakdowns, all the games, all the teams, all the inside information. So got a lot of stuff going on. We just saying before we got on, it's just with early signing day, throw in recruiting to that mix. You got, the end of the season, you've got early signing day, you've got coaching searches, you got the NFL finishing the season. I've got on some committees with these all-star games for the players that are draft prospects. It is just the craziest time. So we try to provide as much as we can over at Landry Football. So check it out there.
Hey, Chris, do you guys also do NFL draft stuff as you get closer to the draft?
We do it all year round.
Yeah.
And absolutely we have draft boards, and we do the draft boards like a real draft board is done, not just kind of the listings of players and who's the top 5. There's no such thing. So yeah, we take folks inside what a real draft board looks like. It's what I do. It's the number one thing I've done for almost 40 years now. Working in the league, still do a lot of consulting work for a lot of NFL teams on NFL draft stuff. So yeah, we definitely, the draft time is you definitely want to be with us to kind of say where the separation points are, how many first round graded players there are, how many high second round, how many late second round, so on and so forth. That's going to give you a better understanding of how the draft process works than what you normally get out there.
So I'm sure we'll get into it as we get closer to the draft, but you look at A&M, there's going to be some players that opt out of this bowl game. It looks like DeMarvin Leal is probably not going to play. He's been listed as a probable first-round pick, but maybe I've seen him listed anywhere between top 10, late, middle, first round. Isaiah Spiller, we'll see if he's going to play, what his NFL draft future will look like. Jalen Wademeyer as well, and Kenyon Green, who's nominated for the Lombardi Award tonight. When you see some of those talent, do you see high grades with those guys at the initial peak of what they've done?
Yeah, there's still more work that needs to be done, because obviously the film work, I think what maybe people miss is just because the games are over doesn't mean the film work's over. During the season, you grind tape as a scout. We grind tape all the time. But you can't get through every player on every tape during the season. So we're grinding tape all through December, all through January, all through February, all through March. So this is why when you hear people rising and moving, they're not rising up boards. There are no draft boards set. They're when people say, well, they're rising up boards, there's no such thing. It's a fallacy in the real world. That's just a hype to get you to, oh, look who's rising. You don't set your draft boards this early. You continue to evaluate. So all those guys, more film work will be done. Plus, as the NFL season is over, the coaches on the NFL teams who do not look at college players during the year will then begin to look at those guys themselves. So you start to have a collaborative effort, and then you have a collaborative team grade as opposed to just an area scout. You have an area scout, you have a regional scout, you have a guy that goes over the top, you have a college director, and maybe even another. So you have as many as 5 grades on a guy just from your college scouting department. Then you throw in the personnel director, then you throw in the GM if he's a football guy, and the coaches. So there's a lot of that film work that goes on. And then, of course, the important part is to get what you can't get during the season and on film is spending time with these guys and learning about their football acumen, their ability to learn a lot about them as people. We don't spend time with them, for contrary to people's what may think is when we go on campus in the fall, we're not bothering the kids. They're getting ready for games. We spend that time now that the season's over, and once they declare or once their eligibility is up, we'll spend time, evaluate them, get to know them, put them on the board, see what their football acumen is, get a little bit of a better feel for their character and all of those. And then, of course, the medicals is what when I was involved in starting the first combine and I ran it for years, but people don't realize it's the medicals are the only reason why we started the combine, and it is 90% of what we do there. So the medicals are factored in. So all of that completes the puzzle of the player, and that takes, really through March to get a final grade. And then once you grade everybody, then you can stack them. So there's no such thing as a first rounder, a second rounder, a third rounder. You grade a player, and then how he stacks up correlates to where he might be taken. And so all these guys that you mentioned are really talented, really good. And while they have done the majority of their work, the work that's being evaluated is still ongoing process for those of us that are in the NFL.
So let me ask you this. How do you think NIL affects the NFL draft with these middle tier players, guys that are potentially going to get a 4th, 5th round, maybe 3rd round pick, the ability to come back to school and make some change and maybe make yourself some more money later?
I don't know, because we need to see it a few years, but my assumption is that it would encourage some of those guys to come back. Because if you're looking at guys that are 4th or 5th round picks, if you got a good NIL deal, it behooves you to come back because you're not going for the money, because you're not going to get the big money, and you've got a chance to enhance your draft stock. I think it's going to be individualized. Here's the biggest problem that I have with this, not the internet, but biggest problem with kids coming out. A lot of times they have no choice. A lot of times these guys think going into the season, they think they're going to be great because their Uncle Joe or their Aunt Sally tells them that they read somewhere they're going to be a first round. They got 212 players think they're going in the first round. And so some of these guys don't do their homework. They literally schoolwork. And so they end up, a lot of them coming out because they got no choice. They're not eligible academically. And that's the biggest problem I got. So I tell every player, take advantage of the opportunity in school. Get your education, for goodness sakes. I mean, even if you have a great career, you're going to have the vast majority of your life is going to be after football. What are you going to do? Have a degree. Educate yourself so that you don't have to ever work again if you make it in pro ball. But just be prepared. You got all these opportunities. Get your degree, and you can go to school earlier now, enroll early, maybe get advanced degrees. Get as much of that as you can. And here's what I also tell guys. Look, I want to know what your major is. I want to know what type of student you are. I want to know your ability to read and retain. Because you know what? That's exactly what we're going to be teaching you. Because if we draft you and you got all this physical ability, but you can't learn, you ain't going to play for Bill Belichick. You ain't going to play for a lot of guys that I work with. Because, I mean, they got somebody just as talented that can learn. So what are your learning skills? I mean, become a good student. And if you can train yourself and gut through like that god-awful biology class I had when I was in college or whatever, just you imagine how much better a student you're going to be in football. So I just think a lot of times guys don't take advantage of that. And look, listen to your coaches. Your coaches are going to guide you to where your status is on the team and playing time and how you fit. And we're going to talk and shoot straight as scouts to your coaches about where your true status is. So don't believe the junk that you hear about you're this and you're that, because as I said, I got no problem, David, if somebody says, look, Coach, I know I'm a 4th round pick, but I'm coming out anyway. That's your life. That's your decision. I can't do anything about it. What ticks me off is a guy that comes out thinking he's going to be a high 2nd round pick because somebody told him. What he doesn't understand is they're going to be about anywhere from 45 to 50 2nd round grades. Do the numbers. You got 32 picks in the 2nd round. So some of those 2nd round pick grades are going in the 4th round.
Right.
So if you go in the 4th round and you think you're going in the 2nd or you think you're going in the late 1st round, that's the problem I have. Get good information. And a lot of these guys, they'll listen to all the information, and whoever tells them what they want to hear, that's what they go with. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox. I apologize for taking that down that road, but that's my pet peeve that I get a lot because I'm involved in, the advisory board and whatnot. And some of these guys, they want to believe what they want to believe.
Chris, I want to follow that up with, I'm going to give you a hypothetical that could be applied in certain cases. So let's say a player one year has a great year. He goes into his junior year and he has a down year, okay? But he's thinking about going in the draft. Year 1, they think this guy could be a 1st or 2nd round pick. Year 2, he's still mentioned in that category, but he had a rough year, some drops, some issues, wherever it may be. Do you guys base the most recent history, the body of work? When it comes to recommendations, you've seen that stellar work, but for some reason there was a drop back. How does that go into the analysis?
Well, and again, first of all, this guy had a great freshman year. He's the first. There's no such thing as a guy who's a 1st round pick. And 3 years from now, again, it's a long process. So that's just the, hype talk.
Right.
But to your point, really off to a good start. This guy's got a lot of ability. I mean, he's got the measurables, the critical factors that you like. Okay, he falls off. The answer to your question is, it's not what most important. They're all important. Why did his play drop off? What is it? That's what you've got to uncover now. Everybody, well, it's this. You don't know. We've got to discover that ourselves. Is professional value. What's made it slip? Is it? It could be something as simple as motivation. These kids are human beings. I hate to say this. They may meet a girl that's the love of their life and between their freshman and sophomore year, and football is not as important to them. I mean, they say it is, but maybe they don't work as much, or maybe they meet somebody that's really good in their life that settles them down and they become a better, more mature person. There are a lot of things that go on. So there's a lot of intensive study we do. We do a lot, just, whether it's trainers, strength coaches, academic advisors, people that are very close to them. We get to know why is it, the coaches, of course, but why hasn't he dropped off? Is it injuries? A lot of times guys, they play, but they're not healthy and they don't get as much work in practice. So their development regresses. Sometimes it's how it's used, it's schemed. There's a lot of things. So the answer can't be just a one-size-fit-all. Well, they're all important. A guy doesn't play well late doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to be a really great player at the next level. And it doesn't mean that he's going to be, if he finishes strong, that he's going to be a great one. It's all of that factors in. And look, there's a lot of things. And it's human beings evaluating human beings. I wanted to draft Curtis Martin, for example, in the 2nd round. And I didn't have the you-know-whats to pull the trigger on him because he lived in the in the training room at Pitt. He had if there was a body part, there was an injury. I mean, and so I said, we're going to wait to 3rd round. Then he gets drafted and, he has a Hall of Fame career. And he never has injuries, the most durable guy. I mean, why is he injured all the time? I mean, he's injured, and it's one thing. If you got one injury, it's recurring. It's one. But it's sometimes you just don't know. Still wanted him, but medically it was too risky there relative. Now, the guy we took ended up being really good, but the point is you don't know. And it's not recruiting to where you can recruit them anyway, and if they don't, it's draft picks. So, when it comes your time to pick, you gotta stand on the table and take one guy, and you got to leave other guys that you really want to draft as well, because you only can take one. So it's a lot of things. It is a lot of things. I begged, the friends at the Raiders, Al Davis, Brooke Kebrick, to not draft Jamarcus Russell. It just was a disaster waiting to happen. And of course, it was the first overall pick. And so, he's great. You see, you're wrong. Well, we don't know. You can't evaluate a draft class, a recruiting class, a coaching hire until 3 years down the road. As much as you want to do it, as much as it sells, whatever, it can't be done. So it's a process. That's the best way I can describe it. So it's about how you evaluate everything from the time he's gotten there. And I'm going to tell you, the guy that I've learned the most from, that have been around the longest, is Bill Belichick, where we will spend a lot of time going back to their high school coaches. That's how I knew Ryan Leaf was going to be a bust, because his head coach in college and his assistant coaches in college loved him. But his high school coach in Montana tipped me off of what you were going to get there. So there's a lot of things that you get and a lot of research. So it doesn't just happen, hey, we're going to find out this. It's a process.
Chris, a couple more questions for you. We got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yes.
Let me go rapid fire on these. First off, the thoughts on opting out for the bowl from the business perspective for the kid and also for the university and for the NFL.
I don't like it, but that's the way it's happened. And it's our calendar schedule that we do, which got messed up. I've always said we should have the football season, we should have the bowl season, and then we should pick the 4 teams after the bowl season. The bowls would be more relevant. Now the bowls, we said this, right? When the playoffs started, the non-playoff bowl games, not relevant anymore. I hate to say it. It is for me. They're just not going to play. And, that's just the way it is.
Last one for you, Antonio.
I like it.
Last one for you, Antonio Johnson. We thought here he should have been all SEC from what we saw him play. He didn't get it. Just and there's other reasons for it. But your thoughts when you put on the film and you see Antonio Johnson for the Ags?
Well, he grades out that way. Getting all this and all that. I mean, the awards, or particularly if it's not statistic based. I don't know. I mean, this guy's a really good nickel. That is a unique player. He's got length. He's an outstanding tackler. He's got great instincts, so he plays within the system well, but he reacts well to a lot of post-snap reads, and he's got good cover ability. He's got the size to cover a big slot or a tight end or a back, yet he's got the athleticism to handle things, to handle some of the two-way goes. This guy has the skill set to play outside and play effectively. He's really good. Now, that's a guy that, has come on, young guy, East St. Louis, second year, just getting better and better. So, yeah, he's got the goods. He's really good, and he's certainly graded out one of the better defensive backs in the SEC this year. Blue grade college player.
Great insight, my friend. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, thank you so much. Take care.
Next week we're going to do National Signing Day, so we'll reschedule. We'll get you one day next week, though.
Yeah, we'll do it. Absolutely. Look forward to that, too.
Appreciate it. Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com. Right now, moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, and online at CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. Deals, 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 and more deals. That's what they have there. They got great customer service as well. When we're talking customer service, that's the place you go. So if you're looking for a vehicle, we're real close to having a look. We're trying to get this old car to last just a little bit longer. That feeling, right? But we know that day is coming. So the beauty is when that day comes, we're going to go to Caldwell Country for a couple reasons. A, top dollar on your trade-in, right? Top dollar both ways on that vehicle that you're trading in and also on the vehicle you're looking for. Also, Zach and his crew, they're going to find the right car for you at the right price. If you're looking for a certain type of SUV, you're looking for a truck, whatever it may be, they're going to search because those pre-owned cars, the inventory is very low. They're going to keep looking for you and find the right one. Go check them out. Caldwell Country Chevrolet, 15 minutes, Brian to Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with Zach and the fellas. Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays from the Zone.
Ho, ho, ho.
The Zone.
Merry Christmas, people.
Since 1957, Slovacek Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovacek is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovacek. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovacek Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's our 12 Deals of Christmas going on right now at your local Big Deal store. Hi, Jenny here, and I've been busy picking out the very best deals for you this holiday season. Each day is a different offer, and we have limited quantities, so run to your computer or smartphone and grab it quick.
Today's big deal is 50% off gift certificates from Horseshoe Junction Family Fun Park. Go to AggielandBigDeals.com and grab that deal.
The end of the tax year is near, so if you need maintenance or replacement parts for your construction equipment, WPI has you covered. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and depth to teeth, buckets, and blades. Any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marino Road, or click WPI.com.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno-country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
If you missed the Louis Bellina Show, you missed A&M soccer head coach G. Guerreri live inside the Charles Schwab studio.
Why you came to A&M?
Well, I had just married an Aggie. That helped. And
I'm sure you got a lot of encouragement from that area.
Well, I think that was a big part of my push to get here was, I know how Aggies take care of Aggies. And even from the outside looking in, I knew that, the love that the former students had for the place is unparalleled. And I always thought that, if A&M wanted to start a program, is a soccer program, that we have the ability in our state to put together a really good roster. And that was part of the thing. Lynn Hickey and John David Crow took a chance on me, and here I am going into our 30th year this coming year.
Listen in to me, Louis Bellina, weekdays 11 to 2, thanks to T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC.
It is all about perspective. Welcome back to TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So I always learn when Chris Landry's on the show. There's always some good insight that he gives us. And I was really fascinated by our talk about the NFL draft because depending on who you are, right, as a fan, you want all these guys to play in the bowl game, and you want all these guys to come back another year. You're like, come on, finish the season out. And then as a potential NFL draftee, you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to get hurt, and we are playing in this level of bowl game, so I don't know. And then you have, agents getting involved, family getting involved, and, it's real easy to take a step and consider taking that, I don't really need to play in that game. I don't want to jeopardize my future. I understand all that. I absolutely loved what he had to say about choosing the 4 playoff teams after the bowl games, because you know what? You're right. I don't even think I've thought about it that way. And I don't know, of course you don't want to extend the season too long, and I understand, but there's got to be a way to have the bowl season matter, and then from the bowls, the playoffs. I agree. To me, it seems like what am I missing here? Is there something about that equation that doesn't make sense? Can you not figure out the playoffs maybe 2 weeks later, and maybe you do some bowl games leading up to the first? I don't know what the timing is. I'm not smart enough to know that. I just know that then I think everybody, it becomes like the conference championships. All the games matter just a little bit more. Now you could say, is it really going to matter if A&M's going to the Gator Bowl and they have no chance? Who knows? Who knows what that means? Especially if it does become a 12-team playoff. Who knows? I don't know. Like, they're not going to jump from 25 to 12, but at least there's a little bit of reason to stay and play that extra game. And typically, most of your superstars are going to play in the playoffs, right? Like, that's, you leave with hardware. You win, you leave with hardware. And that's very important. So I think really good insight there on how NFL draft boards are created and some of the hype machines on the media side of this guy is rising up the draft boards. Well, as he put it out, there are no draft boards initially up until until they evaluate everybody and then slot them. And each year obviously is independent of years prior. So really good insight there from Chris Landry. We really appreciate that. Ahead on the program, we're going to have head coach Gary Blair here, women's basketball coach, going to be stopping by, chat with him. But this past weekend and coming up with Texas Southern and TCU on their calendar, we'll have him coming up. Ryan Broniger, Recruiting Country at 10:05. He'll be with us for a half hour. We'll get his thoughts as we get closer to signing day a week out. Ask Bronny there in the 10:20 segment. So make sure you text the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. Those are the two ways to get in front of us. And Anna Rosa Peterson will be reading those questions for Bronny, and it's like, I think we're running out of questions, but there's still plenty of questions. The reason we're running out of questions is a lot of people are saying yes to A&M. Let's just finish it out. Let's certainly do that. A moment right now for Dr. Troy Elms and Dr. Jeremy Stewart there at Elms Orthodontics. You drive by it when you're driving up to College Station if you're coming from Houston, or even if you're leaving town, you'll see it right there on the bypass off the side of the road. And many of you have kids that are in a similar phase of life that we are. That range 8 to teenagers, right, where they're starting to lose all their teeth. You can see, okay, this is not coming in the way I want it. I want to see how it finishes out, to see how the smile is going to look, how the teeth are going to look. Unfortunately, in the society we live in, it matters. Your smile matters, your teeth matter, and it is what it is, right? So that's what Dr. Elms is going to do, and Dr. Stewart. They're going to get you hooked up. The twins are going there now, and they're so happy with Elms Orthodontics. They got Invisalign, they've got braces, they've just got great customer care. They care about their patients so very much. Call them up for a free consultation today. You can call them up at 979-693-6300 or learn more online at drelms.com. You can find them at 1501 Emerald Parkway in College Station. It's Elms Orthodontics.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Books from Birth is hosting a book drive for used children's books to be distributed to low-income families in the Brazos Valley. Drop off your books at Morningstar Storage through December 22nd. Consider becoming a CASA volunteer to look out for a child and give them and their family a better chance at a brighter future and the happy holiday season they deserve. The next volunteer training session is scheduled for January. Learn more at vfcbrazos.org. Come check out Merry and Bright Maroon and White at the Gardens at Texas A&M this month. The holiday light display is free and open to the public. Help the Brazos Valley Food Bank bring hope to the table. Go online to bvfb.org. You can hear the college football semifinals, Alabama versus Cincinnati, and Georgia takes on Michigan. New Year's Eve starting at 2:30 here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, thanks to T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
This is State Representative Kyle Cassell wishing you all the timeless treasures that Christmas has to offer. May you be blessed with the warmth of your home, the love of your family, peace, and happiness. May the gifts we share this season be a reminder of God's precious gift to us. And may your Christmas be filled with His love forever. From the Cassell family to yours, have a very Merry Christmas.
Political ad paid for by Kyle Cassell Campaign.
Tom Morales here, Operations Manager at Spirit Ice Arena, inviting you to visit us for birthday parties, skating lessons, fun, and fellowship. Just need a breather from the weather and a cool, clean, safe environment? Spirit Ice Arena is vigilant in keeping you safe and healthy. Our common areas are sanitized throughout the day, and our touchable on-ice surfaces are sanitized between sessions by our Zamboni driver. Our ice sheet is 17,000 square feet, making social distancing easy. Visit SpiritIceArena.com for more info. Spirit Ice Arena, social distancing made easy.
For our military families, Americans can show appreciation through education.
Because of you, I will walk across the stage.
I can show my children that they can succeed at any point in their life.
I will be able to make a positive difference in the lives of other people.
I was able to achieve my dreams and work on eradicate some of the world's top diseases.
I was able to get the education that I always wanted.
Because of you, I will be paying it forward and serving my nation.
Join us at ThanksUSA.org.
DJ K-Dub checking in, previously on the Feinbaum Show.
Stacy in Georgia.
When Alabama plays up to the Alabama standards, can't nobody stop them but Jesus Christ. And somebody said last week, if Georgia didn't win Saturday, when will they win? Well, as long as Nick Saban is there, never.
It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fun Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on the Zone.
Yeah. Champagne with breakfast while I'm yawning. You can't drink on it if you don't stop.
And we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Gary Blair in the house. Hello, Coach.
It's good to be an Aggie.
Yeah, it is.
It's good to be an Aggie. Christmas time, finals times for our kids, and wish list for Santas.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a letter from Santa just a couple days ago. We moved, and the realtor had Santa send us a letter. How about that? So
all right.
Just let Santa know that we moved. So the kids are all excited that Santa wrote us a little letter.
Do you have a chimney on your house?
We do.
All right. We'll make sure that flute is open.
Well, it's funny. My youngest was kind of asking questions. St. Nick came by on the 6th, right?
Yes.
A tradition that my wife's family celebrates. And she goes, this is great and all, but why is there a Target receipt over here? And so things happen. We have explained to the 8-year-old that Santa goes shopping as well.
Yes, there's a lot of kids he's got to service.
Yes, he does. So let's talk a little bit about where you guys are. What have you learned about your team so far? I know this past weekend was not exactly what you had hoped, but I'm sure you learned a little bit about your squad.
Well, first, we were totally ready for Texas because of the teams we'd played leading up to Texas. And I thought we would handle certain situations better than we did, but we didn't. The whole ball game was turnovers. They scored 32 points off of our 19 turnovers, and we scored 0. In 50 years of coaching, that's never happened to me. And 1, we've got to cause more turnovers. 2, we've got to stop the conversion of our live turnovers and give Texas credit. On Sunday, they were a better basketball team. But today's Wednesday, and we'd love to play them again. To do that, it's got to be in the NCAA tournament.
Is it one of those things that it's good for your team to kind of go through those kind of hiccups early on to kind of know what you have to work on and focus on?
I think so. Last year, as you remember, we were in COVID years, so we didn't get the chance to play all those teams we were supposed to play. In fact, we were supposed to have had a home game against Indiana last year. And Indiana, as possibly it would be to Arizona, that's who we would have played to get to the Final Four last year. But things change, and we've played a very competitive schedule this year, but the little things, how do you handle adversity? The one thing we've handled injuries very well because we haven't had any. We're one of the few teams in the country that have 14 young ladies ready to practice and play every day. And knock on wood, it keeps staying that way.
How do you balance taking on really good teams early on and not worry about the record as you're trying to learn and grow as a team?
I think that's part of it, risk reward. I mean, it would just be like me going out on the golf course during the summer. I know what my handicap is, but I want to measure what your handicap is. If you're about a 4, I want to see if I can play with you. You're going to have to give me a few strokes, but at the same time, I want to be able to measure where our team is. I want to be able to see, to be the best, you got to play the best. And Texas had already played Stanford, #1 in the country, knocked them off, and they had played a very close game to Tennessee. In between that, they hadn't played up to that level. And if you look at our ball game, we were up 11-3, but the worst thing that could happen, we had already shot, I think, 4 threes during that time, made 3 of them. And then you think you're invincible. You read your stats, and it says we're the best three-point shooting team in the country. We were at that time. Well, eventually that powder's going to run dry, and you've got to have a mid-range game. You got to have a transition game. You've got to be able to score off turnovers. You got to have power post ball. Remember, they missed 10 out of their first 11 shots, and it should have been about 17-3. But that's on us. We made mistakes. We had some turnovers during that time. We learned from it, but the wheel went dry in the second quarter, and I think that's really what hurt us the second quarter.
I'm curious, how has the NBA and even the WNBA changed the way women's basketball is played? Because you look at the league now, it's all about the three-point shot. It's not the NBA that I grew up loving. It's a different game now, and there's a beauty to it too. Has that trickled down to women's basketball?
The larger kids can handle the ball a lot better. I coached back in the era where Cheryl Miller, Reggie Miller's sister, was a great player. She was the first 6'3" kid that could have played 1 through 5. Now you have a lot of players that can do it. You look at Ryan Howard over at Kentucky that can play 1 through 5. Or Aaliyah Boston at 6'5" that can play 4 or 5, doing a great job. These kids are versatile. They know the game better. They're doing the little things that we see sometimes in the men's game. Our kids take charges very well. Our kids have the range to be able to shoot from the men's three-point line. We've all got to finish our layups better, the driving layups under pressure. But everything else we do just as well as the men. We shoot free throws as well. We shoot the three as well. We do everything but the dunks, and we cannot do that.
All right. Gary, what about we all saw the video. It was on social. Your reaction to Vic and just the smile, just the relationship you guys touched on it last week, but I feel like that video kind of encapsulates your relationship.
I think you grow up with somebody and you bring them into your family tree. When he left Sam Houston and came to Arkansas where I was the head coach, we were already friends. It's just like Buzz was talking the other day. Holly, his wife, was assistant coach while he was an assistant coach at UTA. These relationships stay with you for a long time. And what you want to do is foster the relationships. You want to know about his kids, and he wants to know about my kids. But when that 94 feet get in front of us, or that golf course gets in front of us, it's not friends anymore. It's foes. It's competition. And I love to compete against Coach Schaefer in any sport, whether we're playing ping pong or pool or whatever. That's what friends do. Right. You measure yourself. And it was a heck of a game. Last year when we went to Austin, in his first year there, we were able to win by 66-61. This year, he got us. But until we meet again, or until somebody meets Texas again, that's the way it's going to be, competition. But I will see Vic again on the golf course.
That's going to happen at some point soon. What did you think of the boots that they gave you?
Different.
Yeah. You had to be respectful, but at the same time,
I was respectful, and it was a gift, and you learn to be appreciative. It was sort of like when Khrushchev gave Eisenhower a gift way back in presidential. Whether you're going ambassadors or kings or queens or something, it was the thought more than the gift. And I probably could not have seen Mac Brown giving R.C. Slocum a pair of boots right before a football game
Right.
at Kyle Field. But it was the gesture, it was the thought, and I'm very appreciative.
Where are you going to put those boots? Is that a secret?
Yes.
Okay. We'll keep that a secret. I think that's cool. Texas Southern coming up in TCU. It's just some thoughts heading into those.
Texas Southern, correct me if I'm wrong, I was listening to Buzz radio show the other night. Texas Southern hadn't won a men's game, went to Florida, beat Florida.
Correct.
Down there, their men's team is very well coached. That's just who they are. The SWAC teams have to take these guarantee games to keep their program going financially in football and in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, Texas Southern in women, they're 0-4 right now, but I'm sure all 4 have been guarantee games. They've got to subsidize their program. They're coached by Cynthia Cooper, one of the greats. One of the top 5 players that have ever played this game is Cynthia Cooper. 4-time WNBA champion with Houston, I think 3-time Olympian, and she played overseas for about 7 years before she even came to the WNBA because there was no WNBA. I just hope she doesn't play. But we're going to come out. We're going to be ready. We've got some wounds to lick and get ready and improve. The most important game about Thursday is improving. The next most important thing is the 7,100 that were in attendance. Did you see enough to say, I want to come back and see another ball game? Do I want to see that ball game? And then the following Sunday and Monday when we close out against Rice and UT San Antonio on the 19th and 20th. I want people to come back and say, they showed me enough to be a fan for the rest of the year.
Little Cynthia Cooper story. When I was starting out my career, I interned for the Comets. So I got to work with her, Kim Perrott, Cheryl Swoops, obviously Van Chancellor, the great Van Chancellor. So it was those are some legends that I got to work with.
We went down to see her individual workout and then see a game that night. And always before at shoot-around, they invite the photographers or whoever's in the stands to come out and put their $5 in the pot, and they have a shoot-off. And Cooper and Swoops and Thompson, of course, the egos, I was with Joe McEwen, my Northwestern guy, and Swoops got eliminated. I got eliminated real quick. And then all of a sudden, it's McEwen going against Cynthia Cooper. And they made 5 in a row. And he won, and she went over there and threw her Mercedes keys out there on the floor. And Joe had to throw his American Express card. I'm sure it was a green one. It sure wasn't a black one or platinum. Right. And Joe McEwen beat Cynthia Cooper. He never got the Mercedes. And we were talking about that last night. And all of a sudden he said, be sure and remind Cynthia I never got the Mercedes when she threw her keys out there. But it was a lot of fun, and Van Chancellor was the coach back then.
Yeah, he was great. She used to raise the roof, and they won a lot of championships. Talk to me about Jordan and her impact to this program. And by the way, I didn't realize she was such a talented broadcaster as well. She's got a podcast. She had Leon on recently.
Make sure your contract is signed for a number of years. Okay.
She's coming for it.
No, she can do it all.
Yeah, she can.
And a lot of times you start thinking about a young lady's talent, how good of a WNBA player, a Europe player. I'm talking about how good of a person Jordan is, what she can add to this university. 5 years ago, I had the first woman corps commander on my team as a walk-on, one of the best leaders I've ever had. This is the type of leadership that Jordan Nixon can give to this university going forward. It's not how many points she scores or how many wins. It's how many lives that she can affect. Talking to the core or talking to incoming freshmen or having a job at this university. I mean, she speaks volumes about teamwork and about going through things. She's been through a lot of things in her life, and what she needs to do is keep giving back the knowledge that she has.
How important is that for you when you're recruiting, that you recruit not only a star player, but the kind of person that this player is?
It's what Texas A&M is built on. This school is not for everybody, but it's for the somebodies of the world, the somebodies that want to go to the higher level. And we really, in this portal world or the transfer world, you better be real sure who you're bringing in that fits what we're trying to do here, educational-wise, socially, and then on the basketball court or football court. You better be sure, because if they're leaving another program to come here, why are they leaving? Mm-hmm. You don't want baggage. You want answers and a solution. And Jordan, Destiny Pitts, Q from New York, they're giving me the answers of today's world because people are changing. We've already got kids in women's basketball that are already into the portal. I mean, we haven't even dismissed thing, but all of a sudden Texas loses one, Arkansas loses one, Vanderbilt's lost two. I mean, it's all over the country. People are not willing to wait and earn their way. If there's a door in front of them, instead of finding a way like Bum Phillips did to kick that door down, they'll go around. They'll try to find another way. I want to kick that door down like Bum Phillips did.
You always give me such a good quote to end the show. Last week we talked about the Kobe stuff, and you're great. Thank you, Gary.
Hey, good day. Get those Christmas presents ready.
You got it, my friend. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, a moment right now for Heritage Films. My good buddy Chance McClain out there. He does documentary films about your life, about your boss's life, your grandfather, and it's such an amazing, I'm talking Netflix-style documentaries, guys. A&E, Biography Channel. He comes to your house. He lights it up. 4 to 8 weeks. It takes a while to get done because he's such a pro at what he does. He's done Broadway musicals. He's done movies. Go ahead.
Forgot. I've got 4 tickets for my game tomorrow night. They can, whoever calls in or whoever can tell me the college that Cynthia Cooper played for, two packs of tickets. They named the college she played for, they'll win.
All right, on the A&B text line 979-693-1150, go do that. You'll get yourself some tickets for that game. And also, Chance McClain, Heritage Films, check it out. yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341.
Your home for Sunday and Monday night NFL is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The NFL is on the zone.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Howdy, Ags. This is Dr. Krishna Shanmugam from BCS Eye Associates. I'm a fellowship-trained cornea and glaucoma specialist and eye surgeon, but most importantly, fighting Texas Aggie class of 2007. I was born in Aggie, raised in Aggie, and now back in the Brazos Valley to serve Aggie Land, the incredible place that made me the person that I am today. We're the only fellowship-trained glaucoma, cornea, and cataract surgeon in town, and would be delighted to take care of you locally for your eye exam and your eye surgery needs. Give us a call to schedule an appointment today with Dr. K at BCS Eye Associates at 979-701-2020 or visit mybcsi.com.
Tried Eucrisa for mild to moderate eczema? It works at and below the skin surface and can be used on almost everybody, like on the dimples of a diva.
Yeah, roll your boat. Yeah, roll your boat.
Or the shoulders of a chef.
Look, Mom, I made jelly beans on toast.
Steroid-free Eucrisa works at and below the skin surface. It blocks PDE4 enzymes, which is believed to reduce inflammation, even on the wrist of a rebel.
What did you do to your hair?
What?
The specific way Eucrisa works is not well defined. Prescription Eucrisa for mild to moderate eczema is for topical use only in ages 3 months and up. Do not use if you are allergic to Eucrisa, crisaborole ointment 2%, or its ingredients. Allergic reactions including hives, itching, swelling, and redness may occur at or near the application site. The most common side effect is application site pain, such as burning or stinging.
Come on, moms and dads. Check out eucrisa.com and ask your doctor about Eucrisa.
Can I sing one more song?
Does your bank know your first name? At Normandy State Bank, they do. Normandy State Bank is locally owned, controlled, and operated. This local personal touch means banking decisions are made on site the same day you request it. Normandy State makes banking easy. They're open Saturdays, offer state-of-the-art online banking, bill paying, fund transfers, check and statement images. Normandy State, where customer service is their priority. Normandy State Bank, rock solid. Member FDIC.
From opening night to Super Bowl 56, don't miss a second of the NFL's biggest season ever. Hi, this is Kurt Warner of Westwood One. Join our crew each week for the best primetime NFL action. Thursday, Sunday, and of course, Monday Night Football. Listen to the NFL's brightest stars on Westwood One, the exclusive radio home for every primetime NFL game. Right here
on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, The Zone.
Love me some Gary Blair. Appreciate him stopping by. Got a couple winners already on the A&B text line. Appreciate that. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So this in the business we call a tease. All right, we're going to tease that we're going to have Ryan Broniger in studio here in, I don't know, like 9 or 10 minutes.
Breaking news.
We got some breaking news?
No, that is breaking news.
It is breaking news.
I'm going to be on here at 10 on Wednesday?
Yeah. Well, the fact that we have there's a lot to talk about, Bronny.
There is.
And the way the news cycle has gone, I wouldn't be surprised if you did have breaking news at the moment.
I was just on the phone on my way into the office with a good source contact of mine, and we're just talking about how this time in the calendar is by far, December is the craziest month, I think, in college football when you talk about coaching changes and then just the ripple effects that has all the way down to the recruiting cycle and the end of that and those coaching changes, how they interact with those waves in recruiting. And then now you factor in desperation moves by some schools to essentially pay for players and promote that they're paying for players. It's a wild couple of weeks.
It is a wild. And I have to give you guys props. I don't remember when, but before the country started jumping on, A&M could have the best recruiting class ever because now a lot of sites are running with that. You and Luch were telling us, look, a lot of things have to pan out a certain way, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
And when you look at stuff, the national people are usually later on the overarching themes than the local people. And that goes with a lot of regular news. You worked in local news. Mm-hmm. Like your view on what was going on in the city of Houston was going to be much more accurate than somebody sitting in an office in New York City, right? That may be reporting on the news in Houston as it happens on a national scene. Same deal here. Like we're on the ground. We see it every day. We're making the phone calls. Jason's involved in Dallas. I'm involved in Houston. Billy's got contacts all over the place. So we know exactly what's going on across the street in the day-to-day. These national people, something big happens and we need to talk about it. So they're going to be a little bit late on it. But yeah, I mean, you could see this coming. You could see the train coming, and you're either going to get on board, and it's kind of how A&M's approach this thing. You either get on board or come signing day, you'll be left out of this deal.
How tall is Jimbo, you think?
I don't know.
6 feet, maybe?
I don't know.
5'10"?
Yeah.
He's just, some of the guys he's standing by, they look enormous.
Keontae Goodwin.
That guy's a giant.
He made Elijah Robinson look small. You ever stood next to Elijah Robinson?
He's a big dude.
Big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Big dude.
All right, we'll have Recruiting Country coming up next. That's just a little preview, a tease of what to come. A lot to break down. We'll get your questions in for Bronny as well for Ask Bronny in the second segment of the 10 o'clock hour. A lot to do. We've got Gabe Bach coming in at 10:30 as well. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
The end of the tax year is near, so if you need maintenance or replacement parts for your construction equipment, WPI has you covered. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and depth to teeth, buckets, and blades. Any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marino Road, or click WPI.com.
Since 1957, Slovacek Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovacek is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovacek. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovacek Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
You can listen to your favorite shows, Louie, Chip, TexAgs, or Paul Feinbaum online at RadioAggieland.com or Zone1150.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan, Aggieland's home for sports.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. Bryan ISD school board members plan to take final action on next year's school calendar next Monday. During this week's school board meeting, BISD Student Services Director Shannon McGeehee, who is a former principal, says the calendar gives teachers protected work days.
Making sure that we had plenty of time for professional development at the beginning of the year. That was an overwhelming outcry from all campuses and all teachers.
There are also 6 days where students are dismissed early. McGeehee says when she was a principal at Davila Middle School, those days focused on remedial learning.
A lot of those come close to the end of the 6 weeks. And even though we'd love our students to be motivated every day, the end of the 6 weeks tends to motivate our students quite a bit due to eligibility and different things.
BISD's recommended calendar for next year has the support of more than 70% of students and employees and 62% of parents and community members. For the second time in less than a week, BTU has another scam warning. The warning goes to the Spanish-speaking community as well as the community at large. And these scammers are using an unpublished BTU phone number. BTU will never call and demand payment or threaten disconnection. The new College Station City Hall was not the only thing unveiled during yesterday's dedication.
The city of College Station, Texas has officially existed since 1938. However, until today, we have never possessed a traditional city seal.
City Manager Brian Woods pointed out the new seal, which is engraved above the City Hall's front doors. You can see pictures of the seal and City Hall online at WTAW.com. There's another contested Democratic primary in Brazos County. Running for county commissioner in Precinct 4 is Ann Roney, who joins Roy Flores in seeking to succeed Irma Cawley, who is not seeking re-election. Next Monday is the filing deadline for the March primary. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Hello, Brazos Valley. Caprock Health System is proud to announce that we are now in network with Cigna. While we'll always process your commercial insurance as in-network for emergency care, you can rest assured that all Caprock facilities and services are in-network with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Texas, Medicare, and now Cigna. So when you need hospital, emergency, or inpatient care, choose the health system that is in-network. Choose Caprock Health.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field. And now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at EnergyOgre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on the Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. 5 Texas A&M football players have been named to the All-SEC coaches team. Offensive lineman Kenyon Green and defensive lineman DeMarvin Leal were pegged to the first team, while running back Isaiah Spiller, tight end Jalen Wademeyer, and punter Nick Constantinu received second-team honors. Of course, the 25th-ranked guys are gearing up to take on number 17 Wake Forest in the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. Aggie headman Jimbo Fisher on his counterpart, Dave Clausen.
I've known what Dave does for a long time, and we've kept up with it here because I can say he has 2 guys here, Coach Elko and Coach Santucci. When they were on TV, we try to keep up and how they do. We root for them. Like I've always considered Dave a friend, and I had great respect for what he did.
Fisher has squared off against Clausen and Wake Forest 4 times, winning all 4 of those meetings. Time for a look at SEC men's basketball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Tennessee was upset by Texas Tech last night, 57-52 in overtime. Kentucky got the better of Southern, 76-64. Arkansas bowled over Charlotte, 86-66, and Georgia downed Jacksonville, 69-58. Vanderbilt fell to Temple, 72-68 in OT, and Mizzou blew out Eastern Illinois, 72-44. And that's been your SEC Sneak Peek, brought to you by T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On the Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
You can listen to Aggie football, basketball, and baseball on your Amazon Dot or Echo. Step 1, say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Step 2, anytime you want to hear fighting Texas Aggie football, Texas A&M women's basketball, or Aggie baseball, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. It's that simple to listen to your favorite A&M teams that play on the Zone with your Amazon Dot or Echo. Make sure to say one time, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then say, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
I drink a lot of water, Ronnie. That's what I do.
You need it when you're running from coyotes.
You heard that?
Yes.
It was a little scary. Not going to lie to you.
I mean, Olin acted like it wasn't a big deal.
Would you be scared if you were 25 feet away from 3 coyotes?
Probably. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not fast enough to get away, so I would have to try to fight them with my bare hands, but not by choice, but by necessity.
Yeah, I don't think I'm fast enough either. They got 4
Why'd
legs.
you keep running toward them?
So when I started, I didn't realize they were coyotes as I was getting closer, and then they were like running around. I'm like, "Where's the owner? Where, like you put your leash on your dog, you're gonna kill me." And then I realized, and we all made eye contact, all 3.
Well, why don't you just turn around and run the direction that you just come from?
I wanted to see them because if I turn around,
well then you're rolling the dice. Like if they come and maul you, that's kind of on you at that point.
I also saw them run to the woods, so it was, there was a like I started slowing down. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna power through. And if I felt safer going through to the other side where the street light was, to going back because it was kind of dark the way I came. So it was a calculated gamble where death almost happened. But I stared down those coyotes and they were scared. They were scared of the Nunya.
Yeah, I bet they were petrified. You know, Olin's probably had his share of run-ins with coyotes in his day, so it's, heart rate doesn't go as high for him whenever in those situations.
And everybody texting in that they don't come after big guys. I don't know that at the moment. At the moment, I'm seeing I don't know the difference. Maybe they're wolves.
That's good news for me. Like I said, I'm not outrunning anything. I better hope somebody slower than me's around because then I ain't got to outrun the coyotes. I just got to outrun the other person.
Just get away. And they tag up. By the way, it is recruiting country presented by Caprock Health System, a faster patient-centered revolution in care with 2 ERs in the Bryan College Station area. The original 24-hour ER in South College Station on William D. Fitch and the full-service hospital with ER in Bryan on Briarcrest. Online, caprockhealthsystem.com. Bronny, goodness, I like to say this term, goodness gracious. This week, like copy and paste some of the other weeks we've had on this show. It's just like it's always something, and it's always like, really? Him too? And now him? And Naboo? And what? Like it's every week something big is coming out.
Yeah, I think you've had Billy and Jason on on Monday and maybe on Tuesday. Was it Monday and Tuesday you had Billy then Jason, or
I had both on Tuesday.
Yeah. So it was a pretty eventful Monday. Sent us scrambling at least on the Gabriel Brownlow Dendy commitment. Not scrambling, like Billy said, we had an idea that was kind of going this way. We really weren't expecting anything until the following morning. If something was going to happen, we thought, okay, maybe it would go down on Tuesday morning. So we had locked in a time to go ahead and record an in-home visit just in case. And for those people that are listening, we do some of those. Like, we've recorded some in-home visits for guys that did not end up committing or committed elsewhere or waited, 2 more months to commit. And we had to go back in and re-record those. You actually heard that a little bit in the Mark Naboo one. We had a timeline on Naboo for about a week earlier. And in that Mark Naboo in-home visit, you hear Billy talk about the remaining offensive line targets, kind of where A&M sits as they were going into this final stretch of the recruiting cycle. And even in that 7 days, those waves in recruiting, those trends had kind of changed already. So on the site, whenever we posted the in-home visit, I was like, quick update. We recorded this like 7 days ago. Some of the stuff that we've talked about has changed, so don't worry about all that. Just read the updates on the site that we posted about whether it was Cam Dewberry or Kelvin Banks or Keontae Goodwin. Read those updates, and that's kind of where things are today. Said in the bottom of the end of the last hour, these things are completely fluid as you go down the stretch. It is an ever-changing landscape. I heard Billy talk about yesterday, it's a sprint, not a marathon. That's how I've referred to recruiting through the entirety of a cycle. Like, it's not a marathon. And I actually had a college coach explain it to me this way a long time ago. Recruiting isn't a marathon. Recruiting is every day you get up and you sprint as fast as you can until you go to bed, understanding that the next day you're going to have to get up, sprint as fast as you can until you go to bed. And it's like that for the entirety of the cycle. Now, there's ebbs and flows and high traffic times, the low traffic times where you're going to have to run a little bit faster, a little bit harder and longer than others. And this is one of those times. We are in that window where it is sun up to sundown. You are sprinting as fast as you can. And the A&M staff is all over that. That's why you've seen them have so much success. But it is things can change in a heartbeat. In one coaching hire. Look what's happening in Baton Rouge. Look what's happening in Gainesville. They're losing commitments. They're adding commitments from guys that those schools previously had never even talked to. So it's a wild time. It's the wildest month in the calendar on the recruiting cycle, no question.
And is this the wildest it's been for A&M since you've been doing recruiting?
It's, for A&M at least, it hasn't been too wild. It's been good in terms of just adding players at a rate and the caliber of players that they've added is unlike this school's ever seen. And look, if they don't add one more commitment, if they don't get anybody else, I hope you realize this is the best class in school history. With nobody else, this is the best class in school history. They're going to add more pieces. Now, this is setting the bar so high that can you reach it in 2023? I don't know. I mean, look where they're at, Nuno. Like, if you get Perk and you get Denver Harris and you get Anthony Lucas and you get Eni White and then you're there with Shamar Stewart in February, there's 5 stars. Can anybody ever top that? Because at that point, you're looking at, 8 in your class? I mean, that is setting the bar astronomically high. It's historic. It'd be historic. But where they're at now, if signing day were today and not a week from today, and we're just sitting here talking about the guys that they've got committed and they're signing today, we would be over the moon excited about this class, as would the Aggie fan base, because of the caliber, the depth of the players that they've got already. And there's more out there. It's historic because it's unlike anything this school's ever seen.
Help me understand the scope, too, because Texas for years has recruited at a top 10 clip. Oklahoma, LSU, whomever, right? But what Alabama has done and what Georgia's done recently, is it typically top 3 class? So when you say, can you eclipse what you did this year, does it really matter as long as you're in that little top 3 range?
No. I was just talking about the grandeur and the scope of this class. Can you ever get back to it? Because what a high bar it would be if you landed 3 of those 5 guys that I said earlier, and there you have to be. You listen to Josh Pate, right?
Mm-hmm.
He calls it the freezing point. Like, you have to be below that freezing point to be able to beat Alabama, Georgia. Like, you have to have the horses to do that. Every now and then you'll see a team like Purdue jump up and beat Ohio State. But there are maybe 10 teams in the country that have enough horses on their roster to beat Bama, Georgia, Michigan, Clemson, Ohio. Like, you have to have the talent to do that, right? A&M is in that group of teams, no question about it. So you have to remain recruiting below that freezing point to be amongst that group of teams that can win against anybody on any given Saturday.
So what is that freezing point? If there is a number, is it top 5 class ballpark?
Yeah, I would think top 5. Top 7 probably is where you have to be each and every recruiting class, each and every cycle to be amongst the elite in college football in terms of what your roster looks like with talent.
And then there's the super elite, right? The 1 through 3, that's even a different category.
Yeah, and that's where you get, like, Georgia's done it for, how many straight years in the top 3, and Alabama's been – and then you had that third spot kind of fluctuate between A&M's been up there. I know Texas had a class that was up there, LSU. So that kind of fluctuates. But that's why you've seen Georgia and Bama really dominate the sport, and especially Bama over the last – Bama's done it for 10 years, but the last 3 or 4 years is those two schools, their overall records have been incredible because of their recruiting classes.
By the way, the Brownlow-Dindy news, to me, even though I wasn't surprised because I know how close it was, what was it, October 9th weekend, whatever that was, that we actually were doing the show from Rollo. But it still felt like, wow, it's really happening. Like, the things that we knew were possible are like, man, here it is.
Well, you asked me in the break, when did I really start believing that this could be the number 1 overall class? And you have an idea, but, like I always say, they got to close. And still, they got to go close. Like, you've got to go close Cam Dewberry. It's still a position of need. He's an elite player from a school that you've been really good at with a head coach who's an Aggie. Like, there's a lot of reasons. Like, you got to go close that recruitment out. You got to go close Perk. It's going to be tough. Perk's with his background in Louisiana, Brian Kelly typically getting a new coach bump. Like, it's going to be tough. You got to go close him out because he's right down the road in Houston. You got to go win it. Like, you've still got a ton of work to do, but they can do it. And what the recruitment or the commitment that gave me belief that, okay, this can be done and this can be done at a historic level was Walter Nolan 1. Like, how that kind of permeated out of thin air from, okay, we had no kind of inclination that he would even be on the A&M's radar until the summer when he shows up on the pool party, and then it went so well there that he's wanting to come back, and then you gets a relationship with Bobby Taylor, and all of a sudden, boom, you land the number 1 defensive tackle in the country. Okay, that was a big step in doing this. Evan Stewart deciding to just out of nowhere commit to A&M, again, a recruitment that you were completely out of months before, and you get him. And those are indicators that this can be done. Like, all the stuff we've been talking about, it's a realistic possibility now. Like, it's not some, hey, if things go right. Things are going right, and you can do it. And look, I don't want to just talk about all these guys that they've just gotten and without understanding that without the foundation that they laid to start the cycle, none of this is possible. Without the Donovan Green and P.J. Williams to get you kicked off. Without Malik Silla and Bobby Taylor in Houston to really help you out. Without landing your 5-star quarterback Connor Wigman so early in the cycle and having the quarterback position done and dusted, and people and offensive linemen and backs and receivers understand what kind of quarterback they're coming in with. That's a big deal. So it's all a part and a piece of the pie that's going into a week from today.
I have a good friend who's a high school football coach in town, head coach, and he texted me the other day. He's in
town or in Houston?
In Houston. And he sent me a text saying, this is going to be a 30 for 30 type of class that when you guys win, you're going to be talking about for a long time. And it's got that feel. I think Olin called it the 2018 Clemson class or whatever it was, 2017 class. It's got that feel to it if they can finish that, like, this is, even though the pieces beforehand were laid, this might be that moment where we're like, yep, that's the turning point.
Oh, do we need to get a break?
In a minute.
Okay, well, I want to say this too. This isn't smoke and mirrors. These guys are doing this on the backs of a couple of things. An incredible atmosphere to bring recruits to. So if A&M signs a historic class, and we start assigning pieces of that pie like I talked about, the 12th man gets a piece of the pie because the atmosphere they created inside Kyle Field for every home game. You start with Kent State and the red, white, and blue out, and you go all the way to Prairie View when you really had not much to play for, right? And you still put 99,000 in there, an 11 a.m. kick against Prairie View. And all that in between, South Carolina, Bama, Auburn, all those incredible atmospheres that you had at home, that isn't smoke and mirrors. That's real. The kids, that's tangible. The kids can walk into Kyle Field. They can see it. They can feel it. The parents can feel it, and they can see it. They get a sense of what College Station is on game day and how this is the center of the Aggie universe, right across the street. That's real. It's not promises of NIL money. That's not what they're working on. And you're crazy to think that a school like Texas A&M, with its alumni base, with its network, with its fervor for Aggie football, isn't going to be one of the nation's leaders in NIL. But you better be wary of the guy that likes to tell you how much money he's got. Right?
I agree. 100%.
What does Lil Wayne say? Real G's move in silence like lasagna. You don't have to promote it out there. All that stuff's going to happen. But I just think that there's no depth in that selling point. Because then you're going into kids and you're saying, how much is your signature worth? Because this is what kind of money we've got to pay for it. There's no depth there. You got to build relationships. You got to show progress in your program. You got to show them a path to the NFL. You got to show them that if the NFL doesn't work out, look at this network that we've got behind you to support you going forward in life. That's all the things that are tangible, long-standing values and qualities that A&M is selling. So this isn't some kind of game. I think not just the fan base in the state capitol, but the fan base in the Louisiana state capitol and the fan base in Tuscaloosa and these people that are trying to how's A&M doing this?
Right.
It isn't smoke and mirrors. They're not selling the sizzle. They're selling the steak. And the kids have come multiple times to College Station, and they've got to taste the steak, and they like it. And that's why they're having so much success.
All right, let's come back with a little Ask Bronny. I know some questions are coming in. All you have to do is text the A&B text line 979-693-1150. And if you got a phone call, we can try to squeeze that in on the BCSI hotline as well. Questions for Bronny as we get closer to National Signing Day, a week from today, our 4-hour show. Also, a little preview on Friday. Bronny's going to be hanging out in studio with Schloss. He'll be with us here during the 9 o'clock hour.
I'm going to tweet that right now.
Okay, let's do that. Schloss will be here in studio 9 o'clock on Friday. It's TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Best wishes. Best wishes this holiday season. From the Zone family to yours.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Park at Tradition's Exceptional Senior Living, First Financial Bank, and Cooper's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home and Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. MS attacks the brain and spinal cord. It's the most common neurological disease leading to disability in young adults. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Join us. Together we are stronger. Walk MS fundraising accelerates research breakthroughs and life-changing breakthroughs. It will take all of our passion, determination, and fundraising to end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Join us. Register today, start a team, and raise funds at walkms.org.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
Tom Brady's just ridiculous.
Yeah, look, he's
really good.
By so far the greatest older player of all time in football, too, because no quarterback had ever been great past the age of 41. He's 44. But this begs the question, guys. I had various players as my MVP different parts of the season. Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers.
I know, but still.
Different guys. But guys, I gotta say, this guy missed a game. This guy missed 2 games. This guy was real bad one game. And Tom Brady right now is my MVP. He's been there every week, and the worst he's been is pretty good. I think he's the MVP.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
can't go wrong with him. But if it comes down to it in the end, I think it's going to come down to Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady to get the MVP.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
All right, we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Recruiting Country brought to you by Caprock Health System. Bronny's in the house. We'll get to your text messages on the AMB text line if you have any questions, 979-693-1150. All right, big weekend here in College Station. The kids are tweeting about it.
Yeah, and we will have our visitor list as we always do on Thursday. I think Thursday gives us the best chance to double-check some guys that were maybes, and you're still not going to know who exactly is going to show up on Saturday, but we feel really good about the OVs. The 4 OVs are Ethan Macholski.
Mm-hmm.
It is Shamar Stewart, not an OV. Enow White. So it's Ethan, Enow White, Smoke Bowie. Is Shamar? Dude, all this stuff is running together in my head. I have the list right here. Anyway, but yeah, and the visitor list is going to be crazy good. And it's going to involve a lot of commits. I think Bobby Taylor and Malik Silla are planning on coming down after their game. They have a game on Saturday at 1, I believe, in Waco. And so after that game's over, they're going to be driving and staying in College Station Saturday night. Bobby told me, kind of paraphrasing his quote, but this weekend's a big deal for us. I need to be there. And Bobby, again, we talked about the piece of the pie in the last segment. Bobby certainly got his fair share of that pie in what A&M's done on the recruiting trail. But you start really tonight at the Houston Touchdown Club event, which I believe you know a lot about in your time at ABC 13, and I'll probably see the GOAT there.
Joe Gleason.
But I think, there's 4 commits there. No other school has more than 1 in terms of colleges with commitments. Mm-hmm. Marshall Harris, Connor Wigman, Noah Thomas, and Donovan Green are all nominated on the offensive side of the ball. Excuse me, Marshall obviously on the defensive side of the ball, but they're all 4 nominated for the offense and defensive Houston Touchdown Club Players of the Year. Also in attendance will be Harold Perkins, who's nominated on the offensive side as a running back.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. Kelvin Banks and Cam Dewberry, amongst a lot of other really good players in Houston, some familiar names that if you listen to the show, if you follow recruiting, you'll know, like Ty Kanya from Katy will be there. So star-studded event, coaches from all the high schools across Houston, and then a lot of the college coaching staffs make it a point to be there. I'm sure A&M will be represented. I don't know by who tonight with all the coaches out on the road, but I'm sure a contingent from A&M will be in the building to watch that event.
And this is also on the same night that the Lombardi Awards is going on in the same city not across the street, but close by.
Yeah, I think the Lombardi is at the Hilton Americas right there by George R. Brown.
Right. And
then the Houston Touchdown Club event is at the Bayou City Event Center, which is on the south side, I think just outside the loop.
Right.
I think that's where that's at. I know that the Touchdown Club event is in a spot of Houston where I will leave at 2 o'clock because I ain't sitting in that traffic, because if you get anywhere close to 5 o'clock, you're going to be in a parking lot.
Yes, you will. You will certainly be in a parking lot. A lot of big names there, and a lot of potential Aggies going to be there as well.
And just people are going to draw the line between this. But if Kenyon Green wins the Lombardi Award in Houston, 10 miles from where Cam Dewberry, who was a freshman when Kenyon was a senior at Atascocita, and Cam's coming down to decision time, that'd be definitely something that, if Kenyon wins it, it'll be definitely something I'm going to ask Cam about. Because here's the thing. I don't think Kenyon playing at A&M is like the lock and key. He's coming to A&M. I don't think that's – I think Cam's going to make his own kind of decision. I do 1,000% believe that Cam really respects and looks up to Kenyon, and he would be very excited if Kenyon was able to win that award. But something that I would definitely ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to Anna Rosa Peterson there at the News and Social Center. Any questions for Bronny? You want to chime in?
We have quite a few. Yes, Jamie.
Well, hurry up.
Okay, Jamie in College Station asks, has the Brian Kelly hire made a big impact on any current commits or anyone we are battling LSU for?
Not yet. Okay. He is not off to the swiftest start over there in Baton Rouge. I'll just say that. Doesn't mean anything now.
Yeah. Next week.
Okay, Niles and Heath asks, where is A&M in comparison to TU's player purchase program?
I'm not answering that. What does that mean? Player purchase program?
Like the
NIL?
Yeah.
And I think I addressed that in the first.
Everybody has it.
That's a very poorly worded. I mean, that's Texas's selling point. Don't kid yourself that was. Don't act like that was some random happenstance event where they announced these NIL programs a week before signing day.
Yeah, of course.
That was coordinated, and it was targeted at the current recruiting class.
Anna Rosa?
All right, PG Ag and King Oaks asks, any word on Wigman's health?
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, he was not cleared to play because he passed protocol, but it wasn't in time for enough. Like, there wasn't enough window between his passing protocol and for him to be released, fully released medically. To play in that game last Saturday. If they had played on Monday instead of Saturday, I think he probably plays. So that's how close he was, but he's fine.
Now, we have talked about him being at an elite level since I've been here and before I got here. Nationally, have they caught up with what Connor's name is and what his value is?
I mean, he's a 5-star, and I don't see how you can watch the tape or look at the numbers or watch him in camp settings and say he's anything less than that.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
It'd be 7 days, man. 7 days, and we'll have a 4-hour show, and we'll have people on the road. Walker Lott will be on the road. Sandhop will be on the road. I think we're sending Olin out on the road. We are trying to, if this is going to be a historic class, our fearless leader, Billy Lucci, wants historic coverage. And so we are going to try to blow this out for everybody. And we're trying to get to and interview as many of these commits as we can so you guys have spoken word from all the guys in the commit class if we can get it.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. So we're going to do as many interviews as we can over the next week or so. We're going to have some guys on the show. I'm going to reach out. Bobby Taylor will be a guy that we're going to have on the show. Bryce Anderson's a guy that I'm wanting to come on the radio show next Wednesday. And then hopefully I think Jason's working on Ish Harris for the show next Wednesday. And I believe I'm going to reach out to Dickinson head coach John Snelson, either on the phone or I'll see him tonight, about being on the show Wednesday. And then on Thursday and Friday, as Jason and I are in Dallas for state championships, hopefully we're going to get some more guys to call into the radio show. So we want the commits at that point, the signees, to call in and speak with you live, Olin live, whoever, and so that it's not just a premium side thing, that everybody that listens to the show can get the thoughts and opinions of these recruits.
Appreciate you, Bronny.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ryan Broniger, Recruiting Country. When we come back, Gabe Bach, 4 downs.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Books from Birth is hosting a book drive for used children's books to be distributed to low-income families in the Brazos Valley. Drop off your books at Morningstar Storage through December 22nd. Consider becoming a CASA volunteer to look out for a child and give them and their family a better chance at a brighter future and the happy holiday season they deserve. The next volunteer training session is scheduled for January. Learn more at vfcbrazos.org. Come check out Marion Bright Maroon and White at the Gardens at Texas A&M this month. The holiday light display is free and open to the public. Help the Brazos Valley Food Bank bring hope to the table. Go online to bvfb.org. You can hear the college football semifinals, Alabama versus Cincinnati, and Georgia takes on Michigan. New Year's Eve starting at 2:30 here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, thanks to T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Question.
Would you pick a chain barbecue place over a hometown joint? Do you root for East Coast universities instead of the local team? Nah, then why choose a big Wall Street bank? A&B started in 1892. 5 generations later, we're still owned and operated by the same Texas family. We support this community. We value your privacy. We make quick decisions, and we hate red tape. We answer to you, not Wall Street. Bank with A&B. Family owned, Texas proud. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Thank you for joining us. Dave South here, ready to introduce you to the home team as they prepare to take the field. That's right. Your home team is the Lester Group, your team for buying and selling real estate in Bryan College Station, led by veteran real estate broker and third-generation local Lance Lester. His team is undefeated when it comes to customer service. As he steps up, he surveys the market, a little shifting on the defense, but Lance always seems to find a matchup that he likes. Quick snap of the offer. Lance drops back, checks his options. He looks downfield. He's got a contract wide open. He throws. It's tipped by inspections, again by the appraisal. Great block by the mortgage lender, and it's caught. And he's in the closing zone. He could go all the way. He's at the 20, the 10, the 5, and he's taking it to the house. Literally taking it to the house for signatures. This deal is closed. The Lester Group is lightning in a bottle.
DJ K-Dub checking in, previously on the Feinbaum Show.
Stacy in Georgia.
When Alabama plays up to the Alabama standards, can't nobody stop them but Jesus Christ. And somebody said last week, if Georgia didn't win Saturday, when will they win? Well, as long as Nick Saban is there, never.
It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fun Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on the Zone.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
And we're back. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, Gabe Bach here for his 4 downs.
You think about that song, you think about Donkey, you think about Shrek. You don't think about Coyotes, though.
You said you listened
Thank
to
God
the show
you're
twice.
fast, Nuno.
Well,
I turned the show on twice for 3 minutes per time. Both times you're talking about it got coyote ugly out there at Tradition. Where was that?
At Veterans Park. Well, we've been doing.
Who knew? Coyotes?
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean,
you call them coyotes or coyotes?
Coyotes. I speak English. Yeah, coyotes. Some people call them coyotes.
I use them interchangeably. Is that wrong?
No, I think it depends where you grew up. Like,
I mean, I'll use both.
Okay, coyotes.
Yeah,
I don't do that. And I hear you're a big bruh talker.
Oh no.
You're not in the bruh.
What is bruh? You know, is bruh like the new way of saying bra? Because then, you know, in today's culture, people get offended when you say bra.
No, bra. Bra and bruh are the same. Oh, you're meaning that kind of bra?
Mm-hmm.
No,
like people
bra,
get confused.
Like,
right.
You know.
So that's basically the same thing.
Kind of. So
thank God you're fast, though, Nuno. I mean, what would you do had they attacked? Is what I want to know.
I would have fought.
You would have. I mean, at some point, you just got to hit them with a jab.
No. I'm ripping throats out. I've watched
barehanded.
Yeah, I've watched enough Liam Neeson movies.
No.
If you rip out the throat, they're not going to survive.
You're faster than Liam Neeson, but you're nowhere near as tough as Liam Neeson.
I guarantee you I whoop Liam Neeson's butt. He's like 80. I saw him in like the most recent fight movie, and he's like moving in slow motion. Gabe,
he's no Jedi?
No, you would have a chance against him. Back in the day, Liam Neeson would take us all out, all of us at the same time. So a lot of recruiting stuff, a lot of all SEC talk. There's a lot of stuff going on, buddy.
There is. All right, 4 downs, and be involved here. I'm gonna this will be a participatory edition.
Okay.
This plays off your topic about Antonio Johnson that you hit kind of off the top because he wasn't in your preseason top 10 and 21 players in 21 days. You guys took that 30 players in 30 days. Made it a 21-player list, looked at it, and we're going to get into that. I think it's going to be fun. Antonio wasn't in it, but I think without a doubt you'd have to say that, well, he was in it, but he wasn't in your top 10.
Right.
Which kind of would indicate, is that guy a first or a second team all-SEC caliber player? The top 10 players on this roster probably are those caliber players. Some guys are going to get snubbed, right? Devon Achane wasn't on the thing. Without a doubt, that guy belongs on the list, in my opinion. I mean, I think he's one of the – what are there, 40-something players on that list? Without a doubt, Devon Achane special.
Sure.
Okay, but I think Antonio Johnson is too, and I think there are some others who got snubbed, so we can get into it. So during the preseason, you guys took the long-time 30 players in 30 days feature. It's 21-player list. 10 to 6 look like this from 10 to 6. Leon O'Neal, Chase Lane, injured. Devon Achane, Miles Jones, injured. Damani Richardson. That sounds pretty good. That's a good 10-6. 5-1, Jalen Weidemeyer, Anaya Smith, Isaiah Spiller, DeMarvin Leal, Kenyon Green. So
no arguments on the top 5.
I always like to do this, especially during the silly season before the bowl, and it's a lot of recruiting talk. Basketball is kind of ramping up, but you got a lot of time. This is always when I sort of like to go back and say, okay, how about just a little fun re-rank? What would the top 10 look like postseason?
Yep.
And how close were you to getting it? I'm going to give you my own personal 1 to 10, starting at the very top. And when you hear the name, just tell me quickly, do you think that seems too high to me? That seems too low, I'd have him higher, or that's just about right? And the number 1 player on this roster, in my opinion, was Kenyon Green.
I 100% agree.
He played 4 positions and dominated everywhere you put him. You need to kick him out in the Arkansas game to left tackle because you were lost. Look what he did. He was outstanding.
I agree.
So without a doubt, Kenyon Green, I thought, was A&M's best player. When you hear me go Devon Achane second, too high, too low, or about right in your opinion?
Devon Achane. So let me see. I'm looking at I've just pulled up the initial list. We had DeMarvin at 2. I still put DeMarvin 2.
I put DeMarvin 3rd, and I had Achane really high. And you know how much I love 6.
But I think.
But special, two-phase. He's a two-phase superstar. He was number 2 in the country in kick return average.
But I think because you can balance him with Isaiah, and I'm just doing my head, right?
I hear you.
And DeMarvin usually had 2 or 3 guys covering him. I think the fact that there was another great guy that you could put back there, and again, you could say the same thing on the line. There's other greats on the line, but but look, I'm not going to argue.
We're splitting hairs there because I had Leal 3 and I had Spiller 4.
Sure. Yeah.
Was there another one you'd say, no, you know what, Gabe? I'd probably go somebody else in the top 4, or do you think that is the 4? Green, Achane, Leal, Spiller, in whatever order you want to have.
I might be able to make an argument for 2 guys. Okay, and I don't know. I'd have to I feel like I have to write down the list and kind of play
in my
with
head. I'm predicting who you're going to say.
Antonio Johnson,
hey,
and Michael Clemens.
Oh, I was going to say Tyree.
Sure, yeah.
Though Michael played every down and he stayed healthy this year. Tyree fought through injuries and was mostly a 3rd down specialist, although super good at it. So while we're griping at Antonio Johnson, who I had, so here's what I did. I had Tyree 5th. Okay. Split hairs here, but I think he belongs on this list. He was not in our top 10. I think he's absolutely a top 10 player on the roster. I had Michael Clemens 6. He was not in our preseason top 10. Had a great year. Finally put it all together. 24-year-old grown man, right? He put it together. I had Antonio Johnson 7. Those were the 3. 7 of my top 10 were on our preseason top 10. But those 3 didn't. 5, 6, and 7. And just, I think that was a special group of guys. And not one of those 3 guys made the All-SEC first or second team. And I'll tell you right now, Tyree Johnson was 4th in the SEC in sacks with 8.5, and Michael Clemens was 11th in the SEC with 11.5 tackles for loss. They both got snubbed, in my opinion, not just Antonio.
So I'm looking at our list, okay? The initial list that I did on, I guess, August something, whatever it was. And Tyree Johnson and Michael Clemens got tied. Somehow we had a tie.
Did you really?
Yeah. I don't know how this happened.
How'd that make Olin feel? He hates ties.
I think Olin's the one who did the tie.
Oh.
They were at 16th.
Yeah.
At that time.
Way outplayed their value.
And I'm glad you brought this up because I was planning on re-ranking all 21 with Olin at some point.
Yeah, you'll do this. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No. But this is good for conversation place because I'm looking at some of the people who were on the list. And, again, injuries had a lot to do with it.
Sure.
Caleb Chapman at 12.
Yep.
Miles Jones at 11. There was just some injuries out there. Haynes King / Zach Calzado also tied.
I'm sorry.
18.
You had Jalen Jones, 10, 9, 8, 7. You had Jalen Jones 7. I had the wrong Jones when I was talking earlier.
Jalen Jones 7.
And I'd have him lower this year based on
because big plays on him,
Big plays against him.
Yep.
He gave up some big plays, no doubt. So here's how I'd close it out. I'd go Anaya Smith 8. I'd go Damani Richardson 9, and I'd go Jalen Weidemeyer 10. Preseason, we had those guys much higher, especially Anais and Weidemeyer, but I think drops had something to do with it. Those 2 guys had a little bit of a semi-epidemic on the drop side of things.
Could you make an argument for Ruben Fothery or Bryce Foster
sure
the closing part at the top 10? Because they were integral.
Absolutely. You could.
You can make an argument, and I know there's I feel like Zach is such a polarizing guy, but his importance to this team this year and being
well, from a value standpoint, because there were nobody else.
And he stayed healthy even though he wasn't healthy.
Right. Well, he was a tough son of a gun.
Yeah.
And there's where we underappreciated Kellen's durability until the next guy doesn't make it a quarter into a second game. And then the next guy has to play with all kinds of different injuries. And we don't even know what Kellen played with because that dude was a machine.
Yeah.
He missed one play that mattered in 4 years playing quarterback at A&M and taking crazy shots. Whatever you think of Kellen Mond, appreciate that dude's durability because you didn't have it this year. A&M was hanging by a thread at the quarterback position.
They were.
All right, so my personal top 10, 7 of those guys were in our TexAgs top 10, and 8 of them are draft eligible. That's the scary part, and that leads me to second down. Can we do it? So the next couple weeks are about one big thing with like 4 prongs, and that's recruiting. The regular season's over. All the coaching rumors about LSU are behind you. Now it's about turning your best class ever into potentially the best class in the history of college football in the recruiting rankings era ever.
Right.
A&M's got a shot to do that. So recruiting more elite high school prospects, getting guys out of the portal, getting key draft-eligible guys to come back, and then, of course, staff. I mean, don't let Elijah Robinson get out of here. He's like the perfect assistant coach. You talk about a guy that coaches his position, develops players, recruits his butt off as well as anybody in the country as a position coach. Like, you're talking about 10 at every – connecting with players.
Yep.
Showing up on game day. They're getting it done on Saturdays. You can't get a better position coach than Elijah Robinson gives you as the defensive tackles coach.
Yep.
You really can't. So keep guys like that. Make sure that Elko, you take a head coaching job, more power to him. But just make sure that you got to recruit him back. We're in gravy mode here with Elko.
Sure.
To get to 5, I thought we wouldn't get to 3 years with Mike Elko. So there's recruiting going on right now. But we'll do a little confidence meter. Agree or disagree on these. 1 to 10 on my confidence that they'll be back. Obviously, Leal would be a 0 because he's already announced. Kenyon Green, I got a 0.
Yep.
That guy's a top 10 to 20 player. Spiller, I'm going to go 2.5.
I'm going 0.
Yeah, I figured.
0.
Look, I'm a fan now, so I don't have inside information.
I know crap about
crap.
I'm not saying that I have insider information, but I'm just saying.
You said that like you knew it.
No, I just.
Okay.
I think
it feels like
he's going to get a first round grade. It feels like he's going to. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be fine at running back too. By the way, wish him well. He was outstanding. Weidermeyer 4. Maybe I'm being too optimistic.
I'll say 2.
But I thought he had a rough year, man. That's a guy that could come back and make a ton of money.
He did, but you're thinking as a fan and as a somebody who loves this program so much, I'm thinking he's got an opportunity to get paid. And
what if he falls into the? I don't know what he's going to fall into, but I don't think he's a first rounder, is he?
No, he's not a first rounder.
So he's not a first rounder, and you can make over $100,000 easy. He probably made that this year. He did a ton of autograph stuff in the offseason, and there wasn't even an offseason. NIL started July 1st. So now you get an entire offseason of appearances. He could make more money in NIL deals than a rookie contract.
Well, let me tell you, I couldn't wait to start my life.
Right.
Like when I was 21, 22, I couldn't wait. I didn't care where the job until I started that life. And I'm
some people love college. Michael Clemens, he'd probably come back for year 7.
Well, so I would say, 2 for Jalen.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go 4. Anais? 6.5?
I go 6.5 with you. I'll agree with that. Yeah.
Come on.
Get
0 back.
I don't have any insider information there either.
Right.
But I just think he could benefit for one more year.
I agree. Tyree, already been here 5. I'm right in the middle on this. Billy's talked about it. It could happen. I'm 5 with Tyree.
I'm going to agree with you on 5 there. I like that because he had a great year. He really did.
He's probably made himself some money this year.
He did. But what if this team is as good as we think they can be next year and he's playing on a higher platform and he does more?
He's the guy next year.
Yeah.
Because he's the one guy coming back on that defensive line in terms of being able to get to the quarterback.
I would say 5.
All right. Miles Jones, 7. I mean, he's hurt now. So what's he going to do pre-draft?
I'm going to say 8.
Okay. You feel good there.
Yeah.
Damani, the most interesting one of all. Damani and Anais are the most interesting ones to me. I'm going to go 7.5 Damani.
Coming back?
Yep.
I'm going to go 5.
Ah!
And just because I think he's at an interesting point in his career where he could certainly benefit from coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But I also see the lure of the potential of being a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick. I see it, and so I'm going to go 5.
Confidence meter that you get 4 of those guys back. Leal, Kenyon, Spiller, Weidemeyer, and Nias on offense. Tyree, Miles, Damani on defense. That's 8 guys. Can you get half of them back?
Say the list again, because I'm gonna go
All
slowly.
Right, Leal Kenyon.
No.
Spiller.
No.
Weidemeyer.
No.
Anais.
Yes.
Tyree. Yeesh. Miles.
3.
Damani.
No, you get 3.
So is the over-under 3.5? If I'm Vegas,
Yeah.
and then just let people just bet all day on that thing?
And
you're
again,
going under there.
I do want to make sure that I say this. I'm basing this off of what I've seen other kids in this same world do.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to their families or to them directly about this. I don't know. I mean, there are
Maybe
some
not.
people. No, not me personally. But there are people that have, that love college.
Right.
And like, you know what?
That's right.
I think I have something I want to prove next year. There are certain players that said, you know what? I didn't have a good year. It's good of a year as I expected. I need one more year, and let's go win a national championship.
And with me and some of these other guys, we could be really good. We didn't do enough as a team, so there's motivation to come back and finish the right way.
Well, think about
also,
this.
NIL now. Now I'm a senior, household name. If I'm Damani Richardson, I'm like a 4th-round pick, but everyone in this town loves me. I'm a hero here. I can make a couple $100,000 in an offseason. We've never seen NIL during an offseason.
I would love to know
where you have time to go do stuff.
What if they could use the benefit of recent history to apply their thinking this year?
Mm-hmm.
If Kellen and the linemen and just a couple of the dudes, right, had the ability to know about NIL, and hey, you could have stayed another year and maybe been the difference in a national championship team.
Right?
Would you have stayed? True serum, and maybe applying that kind of logic could go a long way.
Yeah, where Hawker's looking for work and Green's bouncing around, and McCollum has been bouncing around. I mean, Dan Moore's been the starting left tackle since day one. He made the right call.
He made the right
Pittsburgh Steelers, rookie starting blind side for Ben Roethlisberger.
Made the right call. We'll finish up 4 Downs next on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Exercise is great for the body and mind. It strengthens bones and muscles, reduces body fat, relieves stress, and can even lead to a better night's sleep. Moderate exercise increases the amount of slow-wave sleep you get. Slow-wave sleep refers to deep sleep, where the brain and body have a chance to fully rejuvenate. It also stabilizes your mood, which is important for naturally transitioning to sleep. The best time of day to exercise can be different for each individual person. Aerobic exercise causes the body to release endorphins, which can create a level of activity in the brain that keeps some people awake. It is always recommended to listen to your body and, if necessary, give your brain the time it needs to wind down before bed. For more sports medicine news and knowledge, check out the Huffines Institute at huffinesinstitute.org. Until next time, this is Macelyn Coles, wishing you an active and healthy week.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
If you have considered replacing the windows in your brick veneer home, you may have been told that it would be necessary to either remove the brick or tear up the inside of your window box. You need to know that Intercon replaces windows and brick every day, and we don't tear up anything except the window which is being removed. By installing windows every day, Intercon personnel have worked out methods which result in the replacement windows being at least as neat and effectively installed as your windows were when they were new. This means that Intercon can furnish and install replacement windows which exceed today's tighter standards for efficiency. They look and perform just as well as the best windows in brand new homes. Call Intercon or visit our showroom and we will furnish you customer references for homes you can look at and homeowners you probably know who can tell you that Intercon can solve your window problems without wrecking your home or your budget, just as we did theirs. Intercon will furnish a free quote and we won't pressure you to buy.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Zwerneman Flooring, and the Sleep Station. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Grab your first cup of coffee weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Powered by WC Tractor here on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Plus, online at RadioAggieland.com. WC Tractor is your local award-winning Kubota and New Holland dealer. You have questions? Look them up online or at WCTractor.com. That's WCTractor.com. You can also call with your questions at 1-888-8-TRACTOR. That's 1-888-8 8 Tractor. ESPN Radio. Powered by WC Tractor here on the Zone.
If you missed the Louis Bellina Show, you missed A&M soccer head coach G. Guerreri live inside the Charles Schwab studio.
Why you came to A&M? Well, I had just married an Aggie. That helped. And
I'm sure you got a lot of encouragement from that area.
Well, I think that was a big part of my push to get here was, I know how Aggies take care of Aggies. And even from the outside looking in, I knew that, the love that the former students had for the place is unparalleled. And I always thought that, if A&M wanted to start a program, is a soccer program, that we have the ability in our state to put together a really good roster. And that was part of the thing. Lynn Hickey and John David Crow took a chance on me, and here I am going into our 30th year this coming year.
Listen in to me, Louis Bellina, weekdays 11 to 2, thanks to T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC.
Welcome back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Our thanks to everybody who got on the A&B text line and, of course, the BCSI hotline where we had all of our awesome guests like Chris Landry, who joined us here virtually.
That guy's so good.
He is easily, I don't want to say my favorite guest because I have relationships with other guys, but I think I learned the most by him.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. He's very John Harris-like. He's educational. But he's entertaining, and he's done it. Like, that guy was a coach, right? Or scout.
Yeah, coach. He worked for Belichick. He's worked for LSU. He's worked for the Oilers.
Seriously, man, you were lucky to get fine. That guy fell in your lap.
He's so good.
If I had Chris Landry, I never would have quit.
Right?
He's easy.
I'm trying to find ways to get multiple times with him on the show. He's so good.
He can be daily.
Yeah, he's awesome.
You got to find like 5 Chris Landrys, but they're hard to find.
They are hard to find.
Yeah.
Luckily, I know a couple of them, John Harris and Chris Landry.
I know. All right, so I'm going to skip third down because I have a 2-parter for fourth, and on the interest of time, the other one I can do it anytime.
Okay.
So when we come back, whatever after, I can do that anytime. So we'll call this third down, and it's a prediction. And it's football, and then we'll do a basketball prediction. Can we do that?
Sure.
And then you end it with Anna, whatever. I think A&M destroys Wake by 3 touchdowns in this game.
Really?
I'm feeling this. And then by doing so, finally completes the Tobacco Road bowl game quartet. I'm sick and tired of playing North Carolina teams in a bowl game. I mean, you finally put an end to this weird deal of facing all these. Since moving to the SEC, A&M has beaten Duke in the Peach Bowl, NC State in the Gator, North Carolina in the Orange, lost to Wake in the Belk Bowl in 2017. By the way, the Monkey Man coached A&M in that game. Jeff Banks.
That's right.
Was the
I forgot about that. Actually, you know what? I saw that recently when I was looking through research. Yeah. That's right.
The Monkey Man was the head coach. We lost that game. Maybe he had his mind in the gutter at that time. He wasn't focused on football. This bowl game is kind of right? Is that kind of what brah? Is it bruh?
Bruh.
It's kind of bruh.
Bruh.
No, see, I just killed it.
Yeah, I don't think.
See, that's intentional killing of the word.
You got to stop saying it. Okay. Then it won't be cool anymore.
No, exactly. And I intentionally wanted it not to be cool. So there you go. Still a Florida bowl game, though, against a 10-win team. So, I mean, if you don't like it, then don't get swept by the Mississippi schools and don't lose to the worst LSU team we've seen in 2 decades. And don't go 8-4 and give the SEC a reason to give you an unattractive slot. Go out there, pound a team that's still Wake Forest. I mean, this is still Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Get to the heart, man. Their quarterback's pretty good now. And they can sling it around the ball yard. Elko knows Clausen extremely well. He worked for him. Santucci worked for him. Go out there and shut this sucker down. My one. I get that once in 4 downs. And then run all day on these guys. Don't forget that Devon A. Chain's on your roster. Beat the hell out of the Deacon Demons. Or is it Demon Deacons? I always forget.
Demon Deacons.
Demon Deacons. And then the Tim Duncans. And then let's move forward and be better than this. Don't give yourself, put yourself in a position where the SEC screws you, because they typically do.
I just got to say this, because I'm still in my panic mode thinking of a bowl game on the road against a team that spreads you out, plays fast.
I don't, Matt Corral-ish.
Right? And Mississippi State. I know. And what we saw from Arkansas. Again, on the road, right? Where we struggled in first halves. I am worried. And it's Wake, but I'm worried.
Yeah, I want to see this team come out more motivated than its opponent for the first time. Other than Missouri, we didn't see that away from Kyle Field. Got to see it.
And in Missouri, they
come out early.
They lost a little bit of that in the third quarter, too.
Right. No, that's right. That's right.
Gabe,
brother.
Save your third down for the next time you're on the show.
Right. That's right. Oh, fourth down. I think Emmanuel Miller goes off against his old team on Saturday. TCU. I like A&M though here. TCU's got two really good players in basketball, but not much else after that. So I do. I'm going fan here. I like A&M.
Gabe Bach here, 4 downs. Thank you, brother.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas to you as well. All right, guys, that'll do it for TexAgs Radio here on a Wednesday. Tomorrow on the program, got Logan Lee, Aaron Torres, and Stephen McGee. No reason to use that accent. All right, that'll do it for the show. Thank you so much for listening and watching on the various places you can watch us at, and we will see you guys mañana.
Since 1957, Slovakic Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovakic is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood